in the health sector. So what we did, that we took a state and actually went straight into that state, spoke to some of the the officers in charge of health there to actually work with them to contribute our own quota, which is using our experts to actually support those areas in terms of checking their blood pressure, in terms of diabetes and everything, that area. So when they saw what we were doing, then it was easier for us to actually speak. So in this area now, if you're going to be looking into the women with disability, you need to look for a specific, because we have states in Nigeria. You can't cover all the states. So if it's one state you want to pick on, you just penetrate into that state and look for those women with disability and work with them. And as soon as they see what you're doing, because I think the first phase is that, oh, maybe they're doing it for reward purposes. Yeah, or for political. No, you want to establish that you're doing this because you have that interest in these women and you want to support them. And you're using your own thing, you're using whatever you have to actually support them. When they see that, when you now go forward to say, oh, this is what we've been doing, they will kind of sit down and listen to you. But if you don't do that, they will think it's for, it's for a game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I don't think you've answered my question. Maybe because I didn't bring it down to what I do. How can women in the media, okay, let's say women in the media, what more can we do? Remember we had an event last year, and we were talking about women living with disabilities like this, and I gave a presentation on the role of the women in media. Now we have agreed that we all have a voice and we're ready to use it in any area. My friend is in the health sector, so she's talking about health. But when I don't have that specialty, when I can't do blood tests, when I can't run ops, when I don't know anything about blood pressure, how can I, in the media, help to promote the welfare of women living with disabilities?
As I said earlier on, I said they're invisible.
They're invisible?
In the sense that people don't see them.
Wow.
People don't focus on them. In some households in Nigeria, they just lock them up at home. Yeah. So you need to make them visible. You need to give them a voice. Bring them onto your show. Have them talk. Have health experts talk.
If they're not visible, how do I see them?
Well, here in the UK they are.
Yeah. Okay.
You also have one or two people who I've noticed have actually set up advocacy for them. But I think we haven't actually focused enough on them. There's so many other women's issues.
But you know that they have some groups now, especially in Nigeria. I've seen some in Abuja where they have a forum for disabled people, and they have also come out to say that they want more inclusion in terms of the toilets and access and all of that. So I don't think that they are extremely, invisible like that. I think the society has changed a bit and people are coming up. But what I'm talking about is in terms of orientating people, letting them know that the stigma on disability is wrong. So I think that's more what I'm talking about. Because I might not be able to interview all of them, and I might not be able to invite all of them to come out. But how do we change the mindset of people? Is it through people like you coming and talking on our behalf, or is there something more that we in the media can do? I can do a lot of research and all that, but I need to know. Who I'm dealing with, exactly.
Well, as I said, we need to have the conversation.
Okay,
we're having the conversation here. Okay. If somebody comes onto your show, they're having the conversation there, but it's just like you are actually projecting it to millions of people to see. So we need to have the conversation. It needs to come out in media. It needs to come out on your show. It needs to come out on social media. It needs to come out on YouTube. We need to have more conversation, and we need to put it out there for people. That's our first point, basically. If there's no conversation, then nothing happens. Okay, thank you.
Something, because when they get to at the age of 20, maybe, then everything stops. Yes. Especially those on autism. Those who have autism, they stop and they don't have anywhere to go because they can't go. When they come out of college, after the college, there's no more anything for them. You are talking about the workshop of the tailoring or something. But in this country, if you cannot write anything on the paper, you are not going anywhere.
I would have liked to believe that they had certain vocational.
I think so. No, between 20 to 25.
Between 20 to 25.
Yeah. No, there's not.
Okay.
Because I have a child. with autism. So that is why I'm trying to ask you, because when they finish college, if they cannot write, they cannot read or write, then everything stops. Then they will take them away from the college, and they have to put them in what did they call it, to go and do maybe computer or something, and that one just for a year, and that really made them stuck in this country as well.
So basically, what you're saying is that the ceiling of visibility just increases here compared to what we have in Nigeria. So there's a level of support and stuff.
Yeah, I would have thought that, because I covered, like I said, I'm a public health practitioner as well, and I know we covered from not to 19, but extensively to 25.
I know that there's something to 25.
And that means that there is support for these children, even after 19 years when they're supposed to have actually come off whatever. So I don't really know why autism, I'm not sure, but it's something I want to explore, because I work with autistic children as well. I need to explore that.
After the age of 19, you have to fight for it.
You have to fight.
So it's not automatic.
It's very easy for people.
And that's why I think it's very, very necessary, especially for people of color. And can I say Nigerians who, unfortunately, we're having a growing number of children who have autism. There's a need for us to come up together and have one voice, so that we can put what I call a class action, where everybody can come together and we can make a strong voice. And the one thing I found out that again is that the local authority, the way local authorities treat disability differs from one borough to the other. Some boroughs are very generous, extremely generous. They would even extend up to 25. But some boroughs, especially where there's a higher need, they cut it very early. And at the end of the day, it's just like when we all go to our GPs these days. They have a budget, they have a limit. If you don't tell them what you want, they're not going to offer you. So if you don't feel that you need a scan to explore further the condition you've taken to them, they won't offer you until you tell them that this is what I want. And you make a very strong case. We as women need to come together and talk about issues that affect us. For as long as we are working in silos, for as long as we think it is me, myself, and I don't have any child that has autism, I don't have any child that is disabled, it's fine, it's okay. For as long as we think like that, we're not going to make any progress. It's about us all coming together. We have various expertise. I mean, we're all very intelligent women here. She's mentioned the problem here. I know that I can advocate on her behalf, and I know other people who can advocate alongside with her too. So it's about not keeping quiet, and I love this, the voice of hope for women. We have a voice that we cannot afford to keep quiet any longer. We need to be speaking out, but in coalition, not singly, and not just forming various silos together. Our voices would never be heard that way. It's when we come together and we put up a pressure point.
Okay. So I think from here, what basically is going to happen is that my friend here will discuss a bit more with you. After break, we can touch up on that again. We'll still have a question and answer session anyway. If there are any issues that we feel that we have not discussed in depth, we can, on one-on-one. That is why people introduce themselves when they come into the forum, so you know who is who and who's an expert at what. And then you can talk a little bit more about them. But one thing I want to say today is that, what we have done here is to encourage each and every one of us to lend our voice. So like we said, that might not be your problem. Your problem might not be women in politics. Your problem might not be like Judith said, she came from a traumatized family. That might not be your problem. But if you do have an area where you can help, if there's an area where you can reach out, if there's somebody you know that knows somebody, please, let's use our voice so that we can help each other. Thank you very much. We're going to go on a show. Sorry.
One particular thing. Sorry, what was the name of the lady councillor that?
Councillor Netta.
Councillor Netta said something that, because there were a number of things I noted them down, but I left my notebook there. But there's one particular one because it actually directly impacts me, or I'm directly impacting it. She mentioned the issue of people not knowing where to access funds or funds for a number of organizations. I have just set up such an organization to help people access funds in the UK. We're also looking at helping organizations in other African countries, international funding basically. So we're doing domestic and international funding, because I realized that our community tends to be very clandestine about money. I don't know why. the British community have made these facilities available, but the problem is a lot of us don't know where to go to get the information. I have noticed that there are some people who do have this information, but they are hoarding it. And I don't understand why, because you have things like the British lottery, the big lottery. They give thousands of people money. So if you are going in there, if all of you put in applications here, I'm the one who knows about it, but I tell all of you, and all of you put in applications here. If you write your applications properly, you will all get money. So why do I need to hide this information? But then we all treat money matters differently.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Yeah. So thank you for everyone obviously coming in this morning on time, a bit late. It's, everybody's welcome. I hope you found the sessions productive. Have you found the session productive? Yeah. Just make sure when you go away for lunch, you're still connecting with the people that you feel you can get the most out of, or you can collaborate with a bit later. So we're going to break for lunch now. It'll be about 45 minutes. I've been told that we've got jello fries. Jello fries. Exactly. She's teasing me now. Jello fries.
I know she's not Nigerian, so every opportunity I get.
Every African needs jello fries.
No, we don't actually have jello fries in Kenya.
In Kenya?
No, we don't have jello fries.
Every African say you got.
Okay.
What's not
sorry to say that.
Before we go on the break, before we go on the break quickly, because when we come back, we're going to do a workshop session. And I just give 2 minutes, or just a minute each, for the people that just came in to introduce themselves, so that when we start, we don't have to go back to that. So let's start with you, ma'am.
I really do apologize for coming in late. So many things, so many
Let's
things.
keep going.
My name is Grace SOMORIN. I'm a businesswoman of all sorts, and that's why I'm here today. So learn more about business.
Business coach.
To share my ideas of business.
You're my woman, you're the one I'm after.
I apologize for coming late.
We're not accepting your apology.
Third case of flu, but I still made it anyway. My name is Olayomi Koiki. I'm the founder of Project Soul for Souls, a charity. We give out shoes to the less privileged in Nigeria, and we've done a few things there as well. So nice to meet you.
She does fantastic work. I'm sure she can tell you a little bit more about what she does in Nigeria, but from her personal experience, she has been able to put this charity together, and I've attended events that she's done. I've seen the work that she does in Nigeria as well, catering for people that don't have shoes. Something that you would think that was minimal, yeah. And has brought a lot of succor to people in Nigeria. So well done, Nika.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm late. My name is Lade Olugbemi, Reverend Lade Olugbemi, and I wear many hats, but I think what I'm more known for, if you all saw the flyer, she actually called me Reverend Lade NOUS. I saw the flyer, I'm like, okay, that's not my surname, but however, it's okay to be known by what you speak and what you talk about. So I'm the founder, or I prefer to say I'm the convener of the NOUS organization, raising awareness about mental health issues in the Black, Asian, and minority ethnic communities. I'm also an advocate, I'm a lawyer, and that's why I say to my sister here that I'm more than happy to work with you to strongly advocate.
Oh, thank you. Okay, let's go.
So you can have free jello fries.
It's 30 minutes. It's 30 minutes. Yes, and the jello fries has been kindly donated by my one and only Beams Delight. Please stand up, Beams. She's a patron of note. In fact, she was supposed to attend from the morning. I was the one that put her through all this stress to make food because I just wanted her to just come, and show me what it is that she does. So please, thank you very much. Please thank her for me. Thank you.
I also want to make a comment regarding James because
okay, you know her, sir.
Yes. She was. Her mom was my daughter's guardian for a while.
Okay.
So she knows.
Is she a good person?
Yes.
So there's food on the table. Please help yourself. Let's form a queue. And if you're interested in the jollof fries, I'll put one on the table. Please, we've only got 30 minutes so that we can continue with the rest of the program. Thank you. 30 minutes.
Yes. Happy New Year. Good to see you.
You change number, you change everything. I don't know what's going on.
We're still live. We're still live. Yeah, we're live already. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. We'll catch up again. We'll catch up in a minute. Once again, good afternoon for those of you that have just joined us on the session. This is an afternoon session. I can tell you this event I've already started since 10 o'clock in the morning with very beautiful women, you know, maybe some grandmothers, you know, you never know. We have a lot of our kids that are giving back very early in Europe and probably Nigeria as well. But once again, you're welcome to this very beautiful live coverage coming all the way from North London. We are actually in the building of the Northeast College, and this is brought to you by a lady, you know, which a lot of you must have seen her face on Ben TV. But we're right here with the Voice of Hope Women Foundation. As you can read from the theme of this, you know, beautiful event that is already ongoing, as you can watch, you know, right in front of your screen. I've seen a lot of people have logged in all over the world. Once again, good afternoon and welcome. We will be here till 4 o'clock before we move to the Pastor Tunde Bakari event, which is going to be sometime later on this evening. Let's take you through. Maybe my sister might want to say something first. Let's get her in. I always like to interview her. Now I want you to face there because I want to capture the voice of hope as well. No, you're good there. You're good there. Just stay there. Just stay there. Happy New Year, and it's good to see you again. And it's always good to see, you know, the women that are. I call them the beam of hope. Without you, we can't do anything. And you know, you've done so much within the community. Firstly, for the benefit of those that are watching us, your name, what you do yourself, and I know you're very hard work within the community as well, and also what you're planning to take out from today's session. We have a lot of events, but we must be specific on what we want to really take out back to the community, to Africa, to Asia, and I'll let you just, you know, start off.
Okay, so Happy New Year, Yomi. I've been seeing all the fantastic work you've been doing. Congratulations, kudos to you. So I'm Carmel Brito. I'm the CEO and founder of the JUDITH Divas Network. It's a network that works exclusively with women, mompreneurs in particular, who want to start their own businesses. And I've come here today really just to support Yomi in the work that she's doing. I think she's created a fantastic platform that enables women to share their stories, use their voices, and I'm very big on creating spaces where women are able to share their stories and really just support each other in the things that they're doing. I think the one thing that I like to take away from the event today is the understanding that there is still so much need for women to be speaking out about issues that, you know, are not abnormal to us as women. There are things that are very common to women but we still don't speak about. There are still so many issues within the community like domestic violence and early child marriages and all these things that we know are very prevalent within our communities but we're still not speaking about. And I think what Ladyyemi has done really well is creating a platform where women can come together, have these conversations and really thrash out how do we start to support the women who are battling with these issues in silence. So the takeaway that I will be taking away from today's event is who can I connect with locally and globally to be able to diminish some of these issues within our community and make life a little bit easier for my fellow women. So I'm really, really happy to be here today.
Wow, thank you very much. And my last question would be, I was at another event called the All Women's Network, and the question I want to ask you is, what will be the action plan? Because we do a lot of conference, we do a lot of seminars, but what will be your own action plan, you know, maybe for 2018, also based on what you do?
Okay, I think for me is what I've always done is just always being on the ground supporting women, trying to pinpoint what are the issues on the ground now and how can we support those women, and connecting the women who have the relevant skills and expertise and resources to be able to tackle those issues. So I think I will just keep doing what I'm doing, is highlighting what are the issues and who are the women that can solve those issues. And I think by coming to conferences like this, we're in the perfect space where we can find those
women so we can identify what those issues are and start putting into practice what's necessary to make that change.
Wow, thank you very much, and I will catch up with you again. Thank you very much. No, we're live on Facebook. This is one is a special one. The video recording is different. I can tell you this is different. We will speak to you as well. Come closer. We're live on Facebook, and people are watching us all over the world. I've just heard what you're doing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I was in Nigeria for 76 days myself. I just came back in January, and I could imagine, what you're doing and what a lot of women are doing.
Yeah.
If you, for the benefit of those that are watching us, your name, what you do, and then I will then take you through maybe one or two questions before I allow you to get your lunch.
Okay, all right. My name is Olayomi. I'm actually a trained journalist. I'm a graduate of mass communication from Ogun State Polytechnic.
I was in Ogun State as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I run this charity project, Souls for Souls, which I founded in December 2015. And basically, what prompted me to form that was the fact that I was publicly schooled in Nigeria. I had most of my schooling in Nigeria, and then I had most of my classmates, some of them, coming to school barefooted, and then fast forward, working for ECOWAS, graduating from uni and all those things, and then I still go back to Nigeria. 20th century, and still find children walking about barefoot, going to school and everything. And I just thought, with just about 50p, which is about 300 naira, to think, you could actually put a pair of shoes on the sole of a student, and the mere fact that the student, they are going to school, they could probably make an excuse, I can't go to school because my friends are going to laugh at me because I haven't got to go. They still persevere and they go to school, and you could see the brightest smiles on their face, and I think, what better way to encourage these children and to put a evil brother smile on their faces than to come together with other well-meaning women and men and just form up this charity. So.
All right, just to for the benefit of today's event, what will be your takeaway? I know we're still in the first session, we're going into the second session, and I know you're catching up as well, but what will be your takeaway for today's event?
Yeah, my takeaway, which is the biggest thing always, is the fact that I'm here with other well-meaning women of purpose, women who share one common goal of making a huge difference in the lives of other human beings, or in their own little corner in the society. So for me, that is a very poignant point that we stick with me. I'm in a room full of women who are doing great things to make differences in the life of people. And most times, these people have no affiliations or no connection with them. They are just absolute strangers, but then they will still, oh no, I have to fight for this person. I have to fight for, the disabled, even though I don't necessarily have a disabled child. Or of course, my children, they have pairs of shoes on their foot, but so that for me is the biggest takeaway to have.
Wow, thank you very much, and I'm sure we will catch up with you, and then we can plug you onto the Facebook as well. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining the global audience. I call them the global audience because they're watching us all over the world, from Pakistan to Malaysia. The power of the media is just very important. For the benefit of those that are watching us, your name and the reason why you've decided to spend your afternoon. I know you'll have some other things in the evening, but your afternoon in this beautiful conference seminar that is taking place today.
Well, my name is Duarte. I'm a children's yoga teacher, and my passion is empowering young minds to be everything that they want to be, and that's in sync with this organisation, empowerment and sharing your voice and giving hope to women all over the world. So my passion is working with young girls to give them hope to pursue their dreams and goals in life. And so from today, it's been really great because we've been talking and opening up conversations on different areas and looking at the voice of women and all the issues that they face. So I'm finding it really interesting.
Wow, wow. Your one tip because I can also confirm I have a lot of youths that follow, you know, what we do, and we can see that, you know, in the United Kingdom we've had a lot of bash from different media on the youth, and we still have so many youth that are still upcoming anyway.
Yeah.
What would be your tip to anyone out there watching you this morning and be able to take back, you know, and then maybe use that as a turning point to whatever problem they're going through right now?
Well, I guess it's just knowing that their own unique voice is really important, and to always be true to their own personal voice. So whatever they're going through, whatever they're feeling, their feelings are important. Their voice counts. And it's okay to feel the way they feel, and they each play an equally important role in the world. So when you know that your voice is of equal importance, and you can stand up for what you believe in and be true to yourself and have respect for other people's voices, then I think that's really empowering.
Well, I think I'm going to remember that, respect for other people's voices. And,
Yeah.
and I think I will take that as my catchphrase.
Okay,
You know,
cool.
Thank you very much for joining
Thank
us, and I'll
you.
let you have your lunch as well. Well, as we allow them to have the beautiful lunch, as I can say, this is the second session of this event, and I can tell you there's still going to be a lot that's going to be discussed. We're going to be here till 4 p.m. where we'll be taking you through some of the challenges, you know, what is, you know, there's so much challenges globally, but Voice of Hope, you know, I've started 2018 bringing all the women together, network, let's iron some of these big problems that is happening globally, because as you can hear, a lady is helping out in Nigeria with shoes, and I mean, I was at the book launch of Ladyyemi last year. It was a very powerful one, and you know, I'm proud again to be here, as you can see, you know, with my beautiful attire, to join all these beautiful women, to bring back to you as well my beautiful and you know, handsome you know, viewers out there. I don't want you to go away. They're having a lunch, but we will be back, you know, in just about, you know, 20 minutes or 25 minutes when the session will kick off back again. But whatever you're doing, let's spend the next 3 hours and learn something, you know, something very powerful, something, you know, that could help someone out there going through all kind of challenges, you know, whether in Asia, in Pakistan, you know, globally, humanity must come first. I would like to say a big thank you once again to the founder of UK AFRICA DIASPORA FORUM, Julliet Makhapila, and also the founder of Voice of Hope. You know, we have so many people here, but we will, you know, as time goes on, they will come and speak to you. But let us allow them to enjoy, you know, the beautiful lunch they're having now. And I will bring, you know, as soon as I can get one of them coming in to speak to you in just about a few minutes. But for the time being, let's continue just to give you, you can see, we still have, you know, the lunch going on now. But let's see if we can get through to, as you can see there, there's the Voice of Hope details. Once again, let's speak to, you know, Voice of Hope Foundation. Again, a lot of you must have seen Ladyyemi on Ben TV, you know, most of the time. It is a beautiful day to start February 2018. Once again, my name is Olayomi Koiki. Let's speak to you in just about a minute. I know you're very busy. It's good to start 2018 on a beautiful note, and especially February is a very beautiful month as well. Thank you once again for bringing us back, you know, after that beautiful book launch you had last year. Why have you decided to start the 2018 with this beautiful seminar? Why? You know, because a lot of people will ask, it could have just been something else.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to all of you that are out there watching me. It's a privilege to be able to put something like this together, and I don't take it for granted at all. My name is Ladyyemi PeopleandPlaces. I'm the CEO and the founder of the Voice of Hope for Women Foundation. This organization started about 5 years ago from a radio show that I initiated called Feminine Matters. Now, because I'm a television presenter, I thought on the radio it would be easier for women to speak about their issues without having the glare and the publicity of the TV. But little did I know that even with that, women were not ready to share their stories. And so a lot of women were not able to speak up. Soon into the radio talks, I realized that there was a subtle conspiracy of silence among women not to discuss certain issues. And therefore, I decided that, you know, with all that was in me, I was going to make sure that women that had a voice would lend their voices to those that do not have. That is why the slogan is a voice for the voiceless. A lot of women, young girls out there do not have a voice. I'm talking about the 8-year-old girl that has been forced to marry a 40-year-old man in India. I'm talking about the girl child that has been forced into early marriage in Somalia. I'm talking about the domestic abuse victim that does not know who to turn to. All of these girls and women do not have a voice, and I have made it my mandate to lend my voice to theirs to be able to create an awareness about the issues that affect women globally. Now, today we're here at the 2018 Stepping Out event, and like Yomi has told you, this event is packed. Women are here now, and we're having this workshop and conference just to encourage those of us that are able to. The women in this conference now, they're powerful women, they're in different areas, and I brought them together to find out how we can work together to make sure that we create that awareness about issues that affect females. So here we've had Councillor Neka from the London Borough of Enfield talk to us about women in politics. We've heard someone talk to us, Rosaline FADIPE, about women living with disabilities. We've got somebody that's going to talk to us about women and mental health issues. So we have powerful women speakers here, somebody talking on social media and business. People who are here that can lend their voice to that of the voiceless. Now, why I decided to do this early on in the year is for us to encourage each other to step out into leadership. I believe that every woman is a leader, and we all have the capabilities and the inabilities of leadership in us. It is now left for those of us that are in an enabling environment like this to use our voice to help those that do not have a voice. And that is why I'm here today, Yomi.
Okay, as we're going into the second session of this event, what should, you know, my viewers, you know, globally, watching us all the way in, you know, Hong Kong, you know, people are watching us as far as Australia, what should they be expecting at the second session of the seminar?
Well, at the beginning, at the inception of the program, we did talk, we parlayed a little bit among ourselves, and I asked the women what they thought they could contribute to make sure that more of their voices were heard. And a lot of them came up with suggestions about what we could do and how we could improve a lot of other women that are not able to join us today. So the second session, I'm hoping that more women would speak up. We've had a lot of women speak up today and tell us what they think. A lot of people are breaking off from the conspiracy of silence and saying, okay, the most important thing is for us to take it one step at a time to help one woman at a time. So I'm hoping that at the end of the event, the participants here will go away being more refreshed, more reorientated. They would, we had somebody talk about personal development. We had Judith tell us about personal development. So you have to first of all develop yourself before you can help to develop others. So we're here this afternoon to make sure that every woman knows that there's leadership in them, and that when they go out, they do not just affect themselves, they impact society. So at the end of the day, we're going to have you know, people bringing suggestions forward. We're going to see how we can improve things, and of course we're going to see how we can influence policy making to make sure that women's voices are heard globally. So you're on the right channel.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll let you take your own little break as well so that we can catch up later on as well. Thank you very much, Lady Yomi. Right, once again, as you can see right there, we will continue bringing the live coverage, you know, within the next 20 minutes while the launch is finishing. The second section, we're expecting a social media expert to speak to us just about, you know, 2:30 to 3 p.m. So make sure for those of you that are thinking, what more can we do? Because, you know, finding a job right now is also difficult. Social media is moving, you know, at a very speed of sound, but it's also good to hear from the expert. So I don't want you to, you know, switch to any station. Thank you very much for joining my beautiful auntie there, AKANDE Robertson. Thank you for giving me a call yesterday as well. It's always appreciating as well. At about 3 o'clock, we will be having women in politics. You know, is it not interesting you know, we have a lot of powerful women in position now, you know, for Theresa May, you know, the UK Prime Minister. We also have, you know, a lot of them out there. But can we also have, as I was listening to so many things that's happening on the social media, can we have 60% of women in politics all over the world? Is that possible? You know, I'm sure a lot of you also know the election of Nigeria is coming up very soon. How can we get the women involved? Women are the game changer, and you know, in this particular time, we really need more of them to get involved in politics. We've seen Councillor Susan Jumoke. We were at the back-in on Tuesday at the All Women's Network, and I saw Councillor Folashade Bright doing very well. And you know, I know we're expecting my former mayor of Enfield, where I live as well, Auntie Kate, I called her. I was still with her on Monday during the burial ceremony of Mr. Greg Abani. May so rest in perfect peace. Can we really get, you know, women in politics? And who other person will be speaking to us will be Councillor Dr. Kate ANOLUE. You know, will be speaking to us from 3 o'clock. And well, let's speak to you know, Lady Waynett in just about a few minutes. She'll be coming to speak to me. You know, I've been really, I think both myself and her, I don't know who sleep very late because we keep tracking the Iroko on his way to Nigeria. Let's speak to Lady Waynett right now. If you go in there, and that is, you know, for those of you that doesn't know her, she'll probably tell you what she does as well. And thank you very much for Happy New Year, I would love to say, because I'm seeing you for the first time as well. You know, and it's good too. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. For the benefit of my viewers, I've mentioned your name. Maybe you might want to just tell us a little bit more. You know, I was there last year when women, you know, empowering women for leadership, and I was just talking about politics. You know, getting women in politics. Firstly, tell my viewers what you do, and then we can then take it from there.
Okay, fantastic. Viewers, good afternoon. My name is Lady Waynett Peters, and I'm the CEO of the Extraordinary Achievers, the facilitator of reclaiming our children back from the streets, and also LOVE, which is loving our valued elders. My passion in the community stands in standing together, helping each other to grow, helping those around us, from the children to us, to our parents, to our grandparents, and also extending to where we come from. I find that it is very important in life that we should always remember where we come from, and we should always remember that it is not only where we originated from, but where our friends and family members that have come about originate from too. I'm here today to support Ladyyemi because I believe that what she's doing is absolutely fantastic. I'm holding on to her book, Empowering Women in Leadership, because as much as we do, so much that we do these days in the community, there's so much more that we can do once again. And when we empower each other by actually also coming to events that are held by other ladies, it means that we are going to grow in ourselves. There's sometimes when we have things that we don't think about. I was here today and I listened to the councillor from Enfield, and she had a totally different view and aspect of how to become a councillor that I've never heard before. I also listened to another lady that is a policy writer, and then she was talking about how she writes policies and how she's initiated so many different things. I learned something completely new once again. So this has been empowering, and this was only the first half. We have the second half to come through. And we also listened to the moderator, Judith, who was talking about her journey as a child and as a young adult until she reached where she also got married, and how she's overcome so many different things that have happened in her life. So today has been absolutely empowering, and I am so looking forward to after this lunch to a more empowering afternoon. I think what Ladyyemi is doing is absolutely fantastic. I think she's reaching out to people in a beautiful way. She's putting community leaders together, and in that she's encouraging community leaders to go out and support the women out there that also require some assistance.
Okay, what would be your takeaway. I know we're still on the first section. We're going into the second session in just about a few minutes. What would be your takeaway today and putting that into action plan? I know this is the network side of things. This is where, we all are brainstorming. But how do we convert this? Because this is my worry, within the community. How do we convert this into the real action plan?
Absolutely. I'm for that too. Before I attend any event myself, I always say, what can I gain from it? And can I grow as a person? And for this particular event, what I take away from this is actually knowing that when we leave here, we can actually leave re-empowered by something completely new. But how else can we then have that growing from today? How do we walk away, I think is your question. And how do we utilize the information that we have from today? I have made connections with a policy lady who I asked for her contact details, for instance, because she can assist me in the project I feel that I'm working. So with combined skills, it means that I can now produce that project not single-handedly, but I have someone to be able to empower me on something that I'm not an expert of. I have also met the moderator today who was saying that she's also willing to empower other people. So in my other organizations and the other things I do to reach out for other people, I now have somebody else that I've met with a different expertise. I think in growing in the future, it's about knowing that no man is an island, and that if we combine our resources to work together, we can actually deliver something much better. And today I walk away from the new connections.
Wow. Thank you very much, Lady Waynett Peters. Thank you very much. I really appreciate taking your time speaking to us. Yeah, I'll let you go. Well, sorry, see that my beautiful auntie there saying the background noise. Try to bear with me as they're eating. Also, I don't want to interfere with them, but I could understand that sometimes the noise could be a little bit, I think I've been able to get this on board, so I hope you can hear me very well as well. Like I was saying, at 3 o'clock we will be having the topic on women in politics, where the former mayor of Enfield, Dr. Kate ANOLUE, will be speaking to us. And at about, just finishing after that, will be women in leadership. We will be the convener herself, Ladyyemi AKINOLA. It is a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and I'm sure wherever you're watching all over the world, in just about 10 minutes I can confirm that we will be moving to the next session of this beautiful seminar. Once again, this has been organized. Thank you very much. I've got the microphone on, so we will get the session start as quickly as possible. Or maybe if we have one or two people that still want to speak to us as well. Once again, is the Voice of Hope Women Foundation presenting Stepping Out, the Leader in Conference and Workshop Program. Once again, for those of you that have just joined and wondering what is happening, it is the 3rd of February 2018, and this has been organized by Ladyyemi. Let's now get ready for the second session of this seminar that is taking place very close to Tottenham Football Ground. I know I have a lot of Tottenham supporters out there, but right now we're live all the way at North East College, just on the Tottenham High Road, on a Saturday afternoon, and I could see so many powerful women within the community that are doing great things. And also those of you that are watching, I saw my auntie Olivia, and I know is working on his very second book, which I know will be coming out very soon as well. And also all the women out there, whatever you're doing, I could see Fatima Olani, all the way from Nigeria. And also those of you that I might not be able to mention, but don't touch the dial. Make sure you watch and listen. Invite your friends, your family, your wife, your auntie, your sister, and tell them to listen to the second session of this seminar as it's happening all the way in Northeast London. Once again, my name is Olayomi Koiki, and we will be here till another 2 hours before we go to the next evening session with Pastor Tunde Bakari. Once again, it's Olayomi Koiki.
Okay, oh, they're both autistic. Yeah. And I was both autistic.
Well, thank you very much. Our only princess, Moridun Ade Doyin Shoriola, for joining us. We are live at the event, Stepping Out seminar that is organized by the Voice of Hope for Women Foundation. In the next 5 minutes, we will be taking you to the next session of this event as it's happening all the way in North London. What you should be expecting at the next session, we're going to have a business coach by Grace SOMORIN, and also, okay, well, at least we have the social media expert as well. We still have, the Lade will be speaking to us. Olugbemi will also be speaking to us. But as we're ready for the next session, let's continue to give you the live coverage as it's happening all the way right here. Thank you very much for joining all the way from Ibadan. We've had a lot of people that have logged in, and we will continue to bring this to you. At about 6 o'clock, we should hopefully get a signal with Pastor Tunde Bakari right here again in Tottenham. It's all about politics, but right now we're taking you to the next session of this event, which is just been prepared, as you can see right in front of you. Once again, my name is Olayomi Koiki.
Can we have members of the panel, please? If you're a member of the panel, please come out. Hello, members of panel. Members of the panel?
If you've just joined us and wondering what is happening today, Voice of Hope Women Foundation presenting Stepping Out, the Leader in You conference and workshop program organized by Ladyyemi AKINOLA, the Saturday, February the 3rd, 2018.
Please note there's refreshments there anytime you need to get up. We've got water, juice, tea, hot chocolate. What else? Unfortunately, we haven't got wine or anything strong. But after the event, we have cake. After that. Okay, thank you again for staying with us. It's been a pleasure having you. Like I normally say, please give yourselves a round of applause. Just to you're still here. I like to be interactive so that I know that I'm still got your attention. We're going to go to the second bit now. The afternoon session is starting seriously. But before then, please look on your tables. There should be an evaluation form there. Please, can you fill it up and let's have it back. We're going to have somebody come and pick them up now. If you haven't got any, please just indicate and we'll bring some evaluation sheet, so we know what we're doing, how we're doing it, what to do next, what we're getting right, what's not so right. We don't have, okay, evaluation sheets, please. That's it. You got the evaluation sheets? Anybody else needs an evaluation sheet? There are pens and papers here. And if you need writing materials, we also have some. Okay, please can you quickly fill that out and we'll have it back, just in case anybody needs to leave quickly or in the middle of it, we'll know that we've got your feedback and then we'll get back to you. We can only say thank you for being part of today's event. Okay. While we're doing that, we'll invite the members of the panel to come forward. Please remember you have 10 minutes each, including question and answer session. So can we have Judith here? Please come forward. Shake fellow. And of course, our youth speaker, AYOMIDE. Please, let's clap for them as they come. Let's encourage them. After lunch, okay. So, these women are going to talk to you about, it's not going to be a full session like we've had in the mornings. It's just going to be a mini session just for you to know that we're dealing with different issues. So it's not just the women in leadership and all of that. These are also women, they're specialized in different areas as well. Also to give an insight into what they do and if you have any questions and answers for them. Also this session is where you can ask any general questions, and if any of them are not able to take it, then I will take it. Otherwise we'll look around the room and see if there's someone that is specialized to deal with that question. The most important thing, like I said, is for us to keep talking. Let's continue to be a voice for the voiceless. That's the only way. Our last speaker said it, we have to parley, we have to talk. That's the only way that we can get our intentions out. That's the only way we can help each other. That's the only way we can move things forward. So please give a round of applause as I call you.
Okay, so
Max, or you?
Yes, I'm good. Yeah. Okay. So as you know from earlier this morning, I'm really, really passionate about personal development and just self-awareness and self-audit. A bit of background about myself. I've worked in corporate leadership for quite a long time. And one of the things that we do, or we used to do as a business, is to actually audit our business to see how we're doing. So we would audit things like the paperwork to see if we're doing the right things. We would audit our people. We see if we're training, developing our people, and generally we'd audit the whole business. And for me, it started a conversation with myself in terms of how I self-audit myself. And some of the areas that I self-audit is things like how I'm doing with relationships. So relationships with my family, with my older sister, my older brother, my mum, my husband, and my general friends. And also relationship outside at work. Or sometimes I look at financially, how am I doing? So versus, last year, am I still earning the same? Is there any potential of earning more money? What is it that I could do different in terms of collaboration? How can I better myself? So in terms of self-audit, it's literally looking at myself as a business, and I look at all the areas that impact me personally. Now, one of the biggest one for me is literally how I grow every year, or literally every month. So within businesses, every year they audit how they're growing. So I look at myself and think, how am I communicating better this year? How am I doing with my relationships this year? And that brings in a lot of personal development. And as I was talking earlier with one of my friends, adults still have peer pressure, which is quite weird and a concept to think about. That actually you're getting influenced as a 35 plus human being. You're being influenced by your friends and what they're doing. I have friends that have moved out of London and said to me, why are you living in London? It's so expensive. You get a big house outside of London.
And actually, I love London, love the buzz of it. I don't mind, you know, the busyness of it. That makes me tick. So I don't want to move outside of London. So the main thing that I always advise people is really look at yourself and understand what your belief system is about yourself, so that you are aware of what influences you want to influence you, and you're also aware of the influence that you don't want to adopt for yourself. So one of the things that I really drill home is about self-belief and limiting beliefs, because you know the way you grow up, the people you hang out with, starts creating what your self-belief is, and also your family, especially if you're young. You grow up in a family that tell you you can do this, you can't do that. You know, you're really good at drawing, you're not really good at math. And then, you know, you grow up and you think, actually, I love maths. But, you know, you're now 19 and you think, oh, I was told I was really rubbish at maths all my life, so what am I trying to do being a mathematician? But actually, that's probably where your strength is. So I urge people to really look at their lives in terms of what you were told as a youngster. And I really even more urge older people, if you're anything above 35, this is my target really, that wants for you to self-audit. So, because you're essentially leaders, and you're leading your families, and you're leading your, you know, if you haven't got, you've got your children, then you've got your kids, and you've got, you know, your grandparents. You know, my mum's age, I love having conversations with my mum and her sisters and my aunties, because I challenge the way they then talk to my nephews and nieces, because it's different, and you can see when they get into conversation with us, their mindset starts to change, because they start to think the way we think slightly differently, even though they still want to, you know, slap you, whatever it is. They might want to have a now conversation. So as adults, I always say to people, look at what your limiting, especially what your limiting beliefs are, because, you know, I was always told that, you know, growing up, you know, I didn't really have a voice. It was always like, you know, be quiet, listen to everybody else. First of all, I'm the youngest out of 3. I've got an older brother, an older sister, and there's me. And then obviously my mom is quite a big character as well. And I've got I used to have a stepdad who passed away now, but we had a stepdad. So I was always the last person. Anybody asked anything, like if I tried to say something, like everybody would have been like, really? You have something to say? You don't have anything to say. And you know, that could be a concept that you could carry on through your life. And I realized when I was 16, 17. Exactly. So I was getting worried about what I had to say. Did I have something to say? Do I have a voice? What, you know, what's my purpose? What have I got to say to anybody really? And when I started to go into work and I was being told to make a decision about this, I'd be like, okay, so I now need to make a decision. Before I had no decisions to make, I had no voice, now I have to make a decision. And then with obviously the background coming from, you know, I'm now going to do it because I'm like strong and I won't let anybody, you know, run me over. So fear combined with limiting beliefs, what I was now putting out in the world wasn't a positive thing that was going to come back to me in terms of trajectory. So I had to really work on my limiting beliefs, which were, I don't have a voice, I have nothing to say, I don't have anything to contribute, so I might as well be quiet. And also, you know, you can't make decisions as a young child. You know, you need to ask your mum for decisions making. So you know, my mum's quite strong, so I would always ask her, what do you think, mum? What do you think, mum? What do you think, mum? And then I had a concept. How about what do you think, Judith? You know, do you think this is good for you? Do you think you can do this? And when I started to ask myself those questions, and I looked at my history, which showed some potential of things that I did really, really well, that I was proud of. You know, I used to be in art school, and I was the top of my class in art. So I started to look up my history to pinpoint the bits where I did really, really well, and I've shown myself to prove to myself in a way that I can do something amazing. So for me, it was really important that you've got a glimpse of what you do well and actually hang on to that and start asking yourself questions. This belief, where did it come from, Judith? Who told you that you haven't got a voice? Why did they tell you that? Is it true? Does it serve you? And these are the questions that you ask yourself. So if you're a parent and you're about to discipline your child, how you're about to discipline your child, is that really the way to do it? Is that the right way? Do you really have to do it that way? Is there another way to do it better? You've got to ask yourself these questions. And if you continue to ask yourself these questions about literally everything that you do, you know, the way that I communicate to my husband, you know, from last year, when he asks me something, my response now is a little bit different because I'm now aware of how I respond with him in terms of questions that he's passionate about. And how do I motivate him is different from last year. So all I can say to you is make sure you're self-auditing every single year in every single area of your life and the way that you do things. Don't think, yeah, I'm now 40 or I'm now 45 or now I'm 50, now I know it all. Like, because we will never stop learning and you can always get better.
So that's Judith on self-development and self-auditing. Any questions? Anybody got questions for Judith?
I love it when I'm clear and direct.
No, unfortunately, I don't have a question. At what point in time do you think that you can start this self-assessment? Because what you told us from now, it was like a projection from your childhood, how that affected you. Obviously, your mom didn't know then that you know, she was pushing down your voice.
Yes.
And because you had other people, that's the culture. When the others are in the room, sometimes you know you don't talk or you don't even look them in the face or whatever. Now things seem to have changed a bit, and we encourage our children to participate as much. But at what point, as an individual, can you start to self-assess?
I think you can start the minute you realize that you have a belief that is not serving you. You need to start challenging that thought. Or if you think, the minute you want to do something and you think to yourself, I can't do that, you need to challenge that thought. That's when you start saying, self-audit and think, why is it that I think that way? What is it that's making me think that? And is it true? And what supporting evidence do I have to actually support this?
Am I just limiting myself?
So you're just limiting, you are limiting yourself because, a lot of people like to blame everything that happened to them. But at some point, we have to take ownership of our own lives and our own behavior and our own results. And that's when anything that you do, you have to question. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, you give to charity and think, why am I doing that? Actually, because I want to be a better person. Is that enough that I'm giving? Do I want to give more? What do I want to do better? So it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. But when you start doing anything that you're doing that you question, you need to start self-auditing.
All right, thank you. Any more questions? Anybody? Sir? My question covers it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Next we have AYOMIDE AKANDE. She's going to be talking about youth engagement, how we can engage the youth more. Yeah. A round of applause, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. So most of you have been introduced to me earlier this morning. Went around to introduce myself, but I'm Ayo, and I recently graduated last summer from the University of Creative Arts in Fashion Design. So I specialise in styling and I design footwear. As a young woman, I've always known that I have to stand for what I believe in, and the majority of people around me also feel the same way. My friends feel the same way. I come from a background where the women in my family also feel the same way. My grandma's always said, make sure you're always praying, make sure you always, go in whatever you want to do. They've always been very supportive in whatever you want to do. Because I always thought, okay, maybe because I'm Nigerian, it's traditionally for me to be a nurse or a doctor. So even though I did enjoy my sciences, I thought, okay, let me go into midwifery. So I was this close into going into midwifery, but then I decided, you know what, in my heart, I do like designing, it's not for me, no. So I'm always, encouraging people to achieve their goals and most importantly, just be strong in whatever you're doing in life. Just always know that from within, you are who you are and do what you're meant to do. Follow your purpose and achieve your goals. So I'm sure most of you here are aware of the women's movements around the world. There was a women's march against Trump and male politicians and males in the entertainment industry. And there was also a movement in, what was it called? The hashtag Time's Up and the hashtag MeToo, where women are coming out and standing up for their stories and coming out and explaining what has happened to them maybe in the past or what's happening to them in their lives now, and saying that it's over, like none of that is going to be happening anymore. Also speaking about themselves in terms of sexual harassment in the film industry, like you mentioned earlier, pay equality, women having less pay than men, and I feel like now that we're at a time where women are greatly holding hands and supporting and encouraging each other than ever before. And we are publicly like standing up for ourselves more than ever before, and we are encouraging each other to speak up, to stand out, and I would say that's because we finally have a voice. And I would just say one thing, that women that have now finally found a voice or are getting there to speak out and stand up for their stories, just to encourage and support the youth in doing the same also, from like a very young age of 10, just to speak to young girls about, you know, you're allowed to speak out, you're allowed to love yourself, you're allowed to love your hair, you're allowed to love your looks, your skin, and whatever you want to do in life, you're allowed to do it, regardless of whether you're a girl or boy, regardless of whether you are black or white. So if you have children or if you have anyone around you that's just young, it's just very important to encourage them to speak out if they have anything going on with them, because nowadays we have girls as young as 10 committing suicide, and God knows what, at school, because of their hair, because of their skin. So deep from within my heart, I'm an advocate. Me and my sister are advocates of young girls, young children. We love children, so it's just important for us to get children to understand that, look, you are loved, and whatever you want to stand for, do it. Because us women now, we are speaking, we are standing up, we are holding hands, and we are supporting each other. And support works better all together as one than just one person. We're all stronger as one than just one person. So I just wanted to highlight on that. Thank you.
Any questions? Any questions? Any questions for?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think we could do to engage people in the youth?
I think it would start off with social media. Social media has a really strong impact on youth and young children. So, you know, people are reaching out to children via social media or at schools, or even from the home, from at home, just speaking to them and encouraging them about self-care, self-love, and how important it is to have a voice. But yeah, I would say social media helps a lot of young children. So anything from social media is a
good place. Yeah. Good place to start. Okay.
Can I add more to that as well, please? Because I work with children a lot, like I said, and I've realized that to actually get into teenagers' mind and mindset, their thinking and everything, you've got to behave like them. I work as a school nurse. So I'm working most of the time with all these teenagers, young, teenage pregnancy and all this stuff. And I've realized that to actually get information from these children, you don't need to do anything, but you just have to kind of walk along with them and think like them and act like them and behave like them. We're allowed to do, you know, when obviously we wear mufti, so we're not uniform based as in the word and everything. So it's easier for them to say, when you talk like them, oh, what's going on? What's the problem? Just, you know, they tell you a lot of things. And I think most of the mistakes we mothers make, especially, because I always say, mother, I don't care about fathers, because like my mom used to tell me, she says, father is for a load, you know, but mother is peculiar to their children. And I found that most of the time, sometimes we made the mistake as mothers. We make mistakes. Like we don't actually sit down to understand where a child is coming from to support them. We always try to kind of treat problem at the top and forget that there's a root behind that thing. A child that is smoking, what actually leads that child to start smoking? Something must have triggered. It could be family issue, like we've heard this morning. It could be family issue. It could be peer pressure. It could be anything. But try and dig the stuff from underneath, and not just, oh, hey, you are, and stop comparing your children actually, because that actually kills their ego. It kills their everything about them. It kills everything about them. And don't force them to do what they don't want to do. Ayo is a fashion designer. I've got a fashion designer in my house because all children are not equal. I've got a chartered accountant as the first child. The second one said, no, I'm not into that. This is what I love doing. But if I say, because your sister is a chartered accountant, you've got to go and do this, you've got to go and do that. She doesn't have the brain for that. So let's get it right. When we get it right, we will see our children excelling. I saw a video yesterday, I'm not sure whether a lot of people were able to see that video. A pastor in, I think it's in Bristol area, who actually had about 1,000 members in his church. And most of the children that are there are against men. How did he do it? He said he had to actually behave like them, think like them, act like them. And now he's winning souls. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And that's just what I want to contribute to that.
Thank you. Any other question? Any other question? Okay, I have one for you. Oh, sorry, Dawa.
You touched on a really important point, that of self-love. That's the most important way to empower a young person. So I was just wondering, how could we really help to support a young person to love themselves and empower themselves? What ways have you found that's really helped to embed that within yourself? Because I know you've had a great role model, but not everyone's got that. So what ways do you think we can do that?
You guys are also free to answer these questions and help me out as well. But I would say taking time out. I would say time heals everything. So if this person just takes time out to figure out who they are, that could be doing anything like traveling, it could be meditating, it could be finding the Lord, it could be doing a course, it could be anything. It's just taking that leap of faith and just going out there into the world and figuring out what's for you and doing what's best for you. And if you love that, then just go into it wholeheartedly and just that way you'll be able to gradually find out what you love. You'll be able to find out that this is who I am, this is what I like doing, and yeah, that's what I would say.
Sorry, what was the question?
Well,
self-love.
Because at the moment there's growing statistics, young people there's growing statistics on depression, self-harm, suicide in young people, and a lot of those kind of like, if we can nurture self-love, that can help combat.
Can I add a little bit?
Okay.
So your session is really, you finished the whole thing. You shared it. You can share mine as well. Yeah, so the point I was going to add to that is I run a supplementary school and out of school club with primary age children of African and Caribbean descent. And as you rightly said, one of the biggest issues that we're seeing at the moment is that children are struggling with that sense of self-love, the sense of self-identity, the sense of self-worth. And it is increasingly becoming an issue that's being presented in a younger age. So whereas before we'd see teenagers and young adults, we're now seeing it manifest in primary age children. And I think the only way we can counteract that is by starting at the primary age level and implementing different kind of programs, different kind of initiatives that support these young people in understanding their greatness, understanding the pathways that are available to them, understanding just how amazing they really are. And that can only come from us. We have to be willing to engage with the younger people. I think if you know in your community that there is somebody that is engaging with the young people, find out how you can support them. Find out how you can go there and do a workshop, do a presentation, work with the children, you know, just teach them something. I think it has to come from us. I think we allowed them to be consumed by so much negative imagery, negative sound bites, the media, and so on and so forth. And they're bombarded with that, and then they have to go out into the real world and navigate everything else that comes with that. And so it's really, really difficult for them. And this is why we're seeing the 8-year-old who's trying to commit suicide because they don't love their hair anymore. So we have to change that narrative for them.
I would like to add to that.
Oh, sorry. This session's not going to finish. Okay.
Sorry,
let me give you a minute.
funny. So I was going to say that an important, I think one of the ways we can, handle issues of self-love would be to probably share the stereotypes and let these children see that, there are different ways of doing things, like, you don't have to be Naomi Campbell's size to, look beautiful. You can be curvy as well. You don't have to fit into a particular stereotype, blue eyes or this to, be adjudged as beautiful. And I think as women in media or in our own respective roles in whatever we do, it is left for us to reinforce this beliefs and try to shed the stereotypes that these children start, because they start from very beginning. You see a child, they walk into a shop probably, you'll be surprised, the choice of clothes they pick or the toys they pick. And I think these are all reinforced on them by the media. So we brought these problems in the first place, so to say. So I think it is our responsibility to get it off the table as well. So.
Okay, thank you. Aya, quickly before you go, you mentioned something about you going into midwifery. I remember very clearly it was a struggle even for myself, because before that I kept on asking, are you sure this is what you want to study? But because, like she said, everybody around was doing nursing and she thought that was the right way to do it, you wanted that. So at that point, okay, the question is, at what point should a parent push? You're young adults now, so I can ask you that. At what point do you think a mother or a parent should push and interfere? Because obviously school gave you choices, you picked subjects, there was a free will, and I could not definitely impose on you. When the results came out, we had like 3 days, remember 3 days that we had to put things together for you to be able to go, to change from admissions from midwifery into fashion. And it was a hectic 3 days. But at what point do you think parents can now push it so that a lot of children don't fall in that gap? Because if you didn't have a strong mom probably that you could come to, you would have just thought, let me just go and do that like that, and then you wouldn't be fulfilling destiny. At what point do you think parents can come in?
From early.
Okay.
From early, when you notice signs from a child that they're interested or engaging in certain activities or a particular subject or a particular hobby, I would say you just push it from them. Whatever the child is interested in, I just believe you should just push it and just allow the child to just do it and enjoy it.
Even though the child makes their choices, do you still go back over it? Because I know that you don't like nursing. I know that, like me, you can't stand hospitals. And I kept on saying, Ayo, are you sure? But you kept on telling me that that was what you wanted to do. So at what point do you think that I can, because I didn't want to impose and say, oh, this is what you're good at. I kept on saying, are you sure? So at what point do you think the parents should say, you know what, be very, very brutal and say, you are not good at this, or you're not cut out for this. Why don't you think of this? Or should it just be, allow them to just,
interject?
Okay, interject.
Because we do a lot of parenting workshop, and especially around exam periods, we get this a lot from parents. And I think it has to start from when they're a lot younger. You have to develop that relationship with your child, so you know your child and your child knows you. And that level of communication is going both ways. Because what you're in essence describing is a one-way thing. You saying da-da-da-da-da. And rightly so, as a parent, you want to make sure your child is making the right decisions. But ultimately, the decision has to be theirs. And so you monitor their journey, you guide them along their journey, and you question, you advise, you coach. You say, okay, what's the reason why you want to do this? Why do you love it so much? What skills do you have in that area that makes you think you will do well? What is the end goal for you? What do you say? You have those conversations so that you're reassured in your own mind that actually, yes, my child is okay. My son is 19, he's just turned 19. So when he was at A-level stage, I was like you. I had in my mind what I wanted him to do.
No, I didn't have what I wanted.
Not necessarily what
I just
wanted
didn't
to
believe
do,
that that was the best course, because I knew her that she didn't really like, that line of, But I was just not, I didn't understand why she was insisting that that was what she wanted to do as at that time. I think that's what she's saying now, because everybody was doing it, and the society, and with nursing then they were saying you get a stable job, so maybe she was just following that.
Sorry,
okay.
Mothers have a special insight into the lives of our children.
Yes. Okay.
So what you saw was right.
Thank you.
You saw deeper. You knew that, yes, you were saying midwifery because everybody was going for it, but you knew her.
Yeah. And I also led her to make that decision. Because by the time she came back to me, I got back from Nigeria, and when she told me about it, we had 3 days, but I was prepared. And I was encouraging her. The amount of work they told her to produce was phenomenal. She didn't sleep for those 3 days. But I was there because I knew that most likely she wasn't going to go through with it. Even when she got admission to study that. So I'm just saying it now because she mentioned it, that this is some of the things that as parents, we don't know it all. So I wanted to ask from her perspective why it had to be so late in that, in that period of time and all that.
Sorry, can I just add as well on the self-love topic you mentioned earlier? We're all mothers here, or well mothers, whether directly or indirectly, whether you're an aunt, at least we're all womb givers. It has to start from a very early age. It's about how we build up our kids, even when they're in the womb. Is the word you speak to them. Is the word of affirmation. Don't let a man or a girl tell your son or your daughter that you're handsome or you're beautiful outside. That one should first come from you, from the sisters. Affirm your children at home. That is very, very important. So that even no matter the battles they're going through outside, they know they can come back. I have a friend who is very wonderfully made, I must say. I'm sure those who understand what I mean, they understand what I mean. But you would not believe the way he carries himself. It's like he's the most handsome man in the world. And you know why? Because he was affirmed positively when he was young. No one can ever tell him he's ugly. He is very, very fearfully and wonderfully made. Because he was affirmed when he was young. We are cradle givers. We are the ones that birth the world, and that's the truth. We need to start from when our kids are babies. Affirm them. And then secondly, as mothers, we have insight. For those who have faith, for those who are spiritual, you need to find out from God what the destiny of your children are. Find out. And once you know, don't force it down their throat, but you can guide. Use coaching and mentoring skills to guide them through.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you ladies still want to talk, or you've said it? Because the session is okay, ma'am.
I've noticed that there tends to be a disconnect between the younger and the older generation.
Exactly.
I just want to ask, from your point of view, what do you think is the cause, and how do you think?
That's a big question. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take all day. Do we have enough time? Ayo, can you quickly summarize? Your session is taking the whole thing. Go on. Quickly summarize. Why the disconnect? Why can we not reach out to you guys? Why do we not see more of your age group in this kind of meetings? I know you invited some of your friends. Why are they not just interested?
I think that's the wrong word. Interested.
That's not the word to use. Yeah. Okay, so they are interested.
Because I think, but I can only speak from my experience. Because I work in a realm where I'm constantly around youth doing amazing things. I think it is that mindset that the older generation has, that they're not interested, we don't understand them, the right way.
So that's not the right word. So what's the answer? Oh, okay, so we're not communicating enough. Okay.
All right, we are doing it wrongly as well. Whatever communication we have
used your time, you know. No, because you answer question long.
Whatever communication we are actually putting out for these children is a negative communication. Looking at the social media, we're not doing well. We are communicating the wrong signals there. Then some of these children will ask you, why are you guys doing like this? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you mothers? What is all these things on Facebook? Because they see it, they hear it, they listen to it. We need to change so many things.
Yeah, I also think as well that if we as women at this stage in life, if we're a bit more true to ourselves, a friend of mine, she had a bit of crisis and in her marriage, and she wanted to put up a seminar, and her daughter said, Mom, I hope you're not going to talk about marriage, because you're not supposed to be because she had not faced what she was going through, and she wanted to glaze it over and make it rosy and come out and talk. And when she told me, I said, I did tell you that you might have to face this, sort it out first, and then move on. Because these children, you say that they're young, they don't know what is happening, but they can see. So I think as well, maybe that's part of it, when we're not leading by example, when we don't talk, we talk the talk, but we don't walk the walk. Sometimes it's difficult because as a woman, you want to cover some stuff up, you don't want everybody to know your business, but then the children that should be your primary aim, the ones that you're actually watching out for, you should also try and talk to them and find out what it is that they feel. Okay, thank you. A round of applause, please. Okay. 5 minutes now, we have to cut it short.
Anyway.
And I need to ask long questions.
So, here to actually talk about nursing as a career, and to motivate whoever wants to go into nursing, because nursing is still one of those good jobs out there. My name is Olushei. Oh, sorry, you're not here when I introduce myself. My name is Olushei. People call me Olu at work. My people call me Shay. I can see Councillor. My councillor sitting right opposite me there.
I wonder why you said your name is Olushei instead of Olushei.
And I think
she's shaying.
The bottom line of our problem with our children. We have so many things to hide from them. If your name is Oluwafunilayo, let them know your name is Oluwafunilayo. Don't tell them your name is Fumi or Oluwafumilayo, because that is what the community or the environment, the society want them to know. But the bottom line is, in the formative years of a child, 0 to 5, everything parents want them to know has to be given to them within that period. Anything a child cannot pick from his parents between that years, in that formative years, forget it. So, if your child is going to be Barack Obama, for instance, tomorrow, you will know between those years. And if your child is going to be a notorious armed robber in the future, you will know from that formative years. Because if you know, for instance, children start stealing from the age of 0 to 5. You take them to supermarkets, they pick up things and they quickly put it in their pocket, believing no one sees them. However, eventually, if you as a mother then discover that a child has taken it, and you cover him up, so you cover him up, that child guaranteed is going to be an armed robber in the future. Now, psychologically,
presentation.
Psychologically, in a child developmental stages, whatever that child has to be given to that child within that formative years. Whatever that child don't get from that year, forget it. Now, children they respect parents as we are their parents. They respect us for who we are, but they don't respect our opinion. And you see, some of our children don't even go to church with us anymore. Because there's been this sort of disconnection between us and them. Okay? Children may go to church with you because they respect you as a mother, as parents. But they don't go to church with you because they believe they're going to learn from them going to church with you. So, in most cases, some of the activities that we do, you don't see our children come with us because they don't respect us. I have taken my time to understand the culture because I'm a founder of a youth organization. And my youth many times comes to me saying, "Oh, auntie, you can't understand." And I said, "Make me to understand." And they said there's a particular culture in the 21st century that we African parents has to learn. We need to understand how it works. Otherwise, we will continue to fail in our responsibility over our children. We need to understand the grassroots, underlying factors. I have taken my time to go clubbing with them. Okay? Because I want them to make me understand what is it about we parents that they don't like. Now, naturally, I will not organize going to club with my children or going clubbing with them. But because it's one of the things they require from we parents, they want to go clubbing, don't say no. If they get to the age of going clubbing, go with them.
You can't even stop them.
Drive them to the clubbing. If you don't drive, pick up a taxi, go with them. Understand what is happening there.
Okay.
And I'm going to reserve my comments about what I experienced going clubbing with them. I saw a lot of things.
All right.
Some of the things parents don't know. 16-year-old, 17 smoking weed, doing all sorts of things. If we have created that precious time to understand how they feel, we would have known what is happening in their life, how to come into their life, how to help them, and those in the age of, having relationship with boys or having relationship with girls, we would have understood how to come into their life. But because they don't respect us, we hide so many things. We are not being truthful.
Wow. Okay, thank you very much. very much.
And I think so. Quickly, let me just
please,
say
can we just round the session up? They're still answering the question on you.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, I think you need to put up another seminar and then just all come up. Because you only read something for a few minutes and we're going on and on. And the whole afternoon is gone. Okay. So Michelle, you've got 5 minutes.
I'm just going to quickly go through whatever. I actually put up a slide. I think I can still remember some in my head, which I'll just talk through. And this is talking about nursing career. I'm a nurse, adult nurse background, but right now I found myself in public health because, as you know, nursing is vast. We have different routes to nursing. We have different branches. We have adult nursing, we have child nursing, we have midwifery, we have mental health, we have district nursing, school nursing. Everything is vast. And to be honest with you, I don't think there is limitation to when you can start a career. I don't think. I started my nursing career when I had my 4th baby. And there was something that motivated me into doing that. So I think I was in uni with my first daughter when she was in uni. And I think at the time I wanted to do it, they were asking me, Mom, are you sure you're going to be able to do this? And I said, try me. Let's see what's going to happen. And we did it. We qualified at the same time. And then I went to do, because then, funding and all this funding, because we have diploma in nursing, we have BSc in nursing, we have masters in nursing. There's no limitation to the degree you can have in nursing as well. It's just like somebody that trained as a lawyer or an accountant or a psychologist. That is how nursing is. It depends on you, an individual, where you want to be, what you want to do. Like self-assessment, you just said to us, you assess yourself. What do I want to do next? Where do I want to go next? And I think I started with a diploma in nursing. My uni offered me, which was King's College then, offered me to go and do my BSc in nursing. I took it straight away, and I did 4 years in nursing to qualify as a BSc in adult nursing. I started working on the ward, but because we have a lot of politics and all this stuff within the nursing, I wanted to go into the community. I did another degree in public health, which is the specialist community nursing in public health, and that was where I started working with children within the school nursing thing. If you want to do nursing, there is no big deal because, like I said, there is no limit to education. You can pick up education at any time. All you need to do is to be determined, because without determination, without support, without all this, you cannot do it. You cannot do it.
Thank you. So, any questions on anybody interested in the nursing career? Nursing is still quite lucrative, but I know that a couple of years ago, a lot of people went into it. And like Shay said, initially for the funding, because I tried my hands at it, and when we had to do practicals in hospital, I couldn't stand straight. I was and then I knew probably that wasn't where I should follow. Even with that, I deferred my admission. I got admitted. I deferred it for a year where I was thinking about it, and throughout the night I couldn't sleep, just knowing that that wasn't the right choice for me. So if there's someone that has a passion, I think with nursing you have to have empathy. That is the first thing. You have to put yourself in that person's position and see how they feel. You don't go around the world with spit in your mouth like I used to do. So if you're interested in a nursing career, is there any question you have for Shay before we round up this session? Any questions?
Let me ask.
Okay.
I come from a nursing background. My mom used to be the head of the School of Nursing on AWOYEMI. So I've always grown up in that environment. Funny enough, she was actually the first person who initiated this whole idea of Nigerian nurses coming to work in the UK. Not just the UK, but here in the United States and Saudi Arabia. I'd just like to ask, how do you feel there's a disparity in the nursing profession from there to here?
I think we're still going to go back to this BMI of the thing, with the black color and the white color, and that is what we are trying to sort out now. And like most of the speakers have said this morning, we as black nurses, we need to come out more. We need to come out more and make our voice known. Because a lot of things that will happen within the nursing line, that a white person will go scot-free. It doesn't go, you as a black person, even more professional than the other person, you might not get out of it. And that's why you see many of them losing their PIN, because we have registration as well. So what we are saying is that if we come together and put up a voice to say no, this is not right, and it's something that is ongoing. People are holding a seminar already to speak to black nurses on how to support themselves and how to walk around it. So it's something that is going on.
Okay, how would you encourage someone that wants to come into the nursing career? No disrespect, I read something on Facebook that a lot of nurses, when they put up posts, their English is not correct. You know, it's as if they're half-baked. And because nursing, it's a profession that a lot of people went into it initially because funding was available and they needed to up themselves. So if somebody wanted to go into a nursing career now, what would you tell them? What are the prospects? What more can they do than just working on the
if you already had you know, a degree in any other profession, I would believe that you must have a sound English. You have been able to write your. But if not, I mean, there are steps you can take. If you don't, you can actually do your first MVQ at the college, whereby you get that foundation basis to be able to go through whatever you want to do before you enter the uni. Once you establish that, that will be able to, you know, tell you that, okay, I can do this, I can do it. It's a foundation base. And then, if you know you're not very sound in English, there are English courses that you can actually apply to. Probably in the evening courses that you can upgrade, develop yourself in your English and everything. Because what happened, why those words would come out, when people started going into nursing, it was because of the money involved. Exactly. They never knew what was actually into it for them. They think it was something that was easy. And I have actually seen a lot of people asking people to write essays for them. And if you're writing essays for people, how do you get that thing into your brain? Because you cannot write an essay by yourself. Because when we write essay, we learn more. You research. Everything you want to do, you have to research about it. Not based on classwork alone. So that's where the problem comes. And a lot of them, they've opted out now, to be honest with you. Because they can't cope. They can't cope.
It's just because there was a youngster that put it on social media that, I mean, nursing, you find a lot of aunties there who can't speak English.
To be honest, it's not a test of English. There are people who can't even speak, you know, English as good as Nigerian aunties. If someone comes from Filipino, if you make an effort to learn English, your diction is never going to be as good as somebody.
But for someone that wants to make it as a career, as a youngster, where you know that it sort of like discourages. That was the word.
Because they grew up here. Most of us did not grow up here. They were born here.
But now I understand that now that the self-development, it's not just about being on the ward and just doing bed rounds and all that. You can actually do much more with nursing.
You can become a nursing director to my crying loud. You can become a nursing director. It just depends on you. Wherever you want to go.
Personal.
That's it. You can do that.
All right. Anything else to add to it? Nursing, while we're still on nurses? Okay.
Please encourage your children to come into this profession. Because we need more nurses. We need especially the young ones.
So you do have a shortage.
Yes, we do have a shortage.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a shortage of nurses here.
Okay.
Comments, you've got 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, moms in business.
Wow. Okay, so my name is Carmel Brito, and my remit is empowering women, mothers in particular, to become more confident women, confident mothers, and confident business owners. So I support mothers who are in that process of trying to discover what is my passion, what is my purpose, and how can I turn that into a business where I'm able to run my business and still be able to maintain my family and do all the other things that I do and just create that balance that works for me. One of my biggest things is supporting other women. I think it's so important as women, we are working to support each other. And so I created a network called the Jeans and Heels Divas Network, and it is for mothers who run their own businesses to come together and get some personal development support, business support, and also just to be a part of a network of other women who can empower them, inspire them, elevate them, motivate them to do all the things that they love. I wear so many hats, it's unreal, because I have this strong understanding that as women, we need to be giving back. We need to be pulling our sisters up behind us. We need to be sharing the experiences and our stories and so on and so forth. And so I've created a platform called Divas Let's Talk, which is about getting women, just like Ladyyemi has done today, getting women into a room together so that they can share their stories and empower each other, and to just really say, do you know, if you're going through a certain something at the moment, there are other women who have experienced it. These are the things that you can do to support yourself and to get yourself out of these situations. I also run, I'm trying to do it really, really quickly, run through everything because I'm realising my time. I also run, as I said, a supplementary school for disadvantaged children, primary age of African and Caribbean heritage. I set that up, it's a non-profit organisation, so where I do run other businesses, that is my passion project. I set it up, it's been running for about 5 years now, and that came from the realisation that as a community, we have really highly skilled people within our community, and they're not passing that information back. And then we have children who are living in real disadvantaged situations. So they're living in communities where they have gangs around them. They're living in communities where they're in low-income households. They're living in communities where their parents have no recourse to public funds and don't understand how the education system works. And I felt it was important that there was a place that the parents could go to for advice and support on how they support their children through the education system, and that the children also had a safe space where they were fulfilling their potential, because we have brilliance within our community. Our children are some of the most amazing children, naturally gifted, naturally talented, but if it's not nurtured, it's killed from the root. And that's why I always keep saying we have to catch them from they're young. So my catchment is 5 years old, because I just feel that once they get into the education system, something inside them changes. And by the time they get to the secondary level, something breaks. And so it's so important that at that foundation level, we're impacting as much of the good stuff as we can as possible. And so what I do is I create events, workshops, programs that allows them to come into contact with amazing people who can motivate them, inspire them, educate them, teach them something. And just show them that there's a different way. When I first started, it was really interesting because I have a lot of Nigerian families within my network. And it was really interesting for me, to be running a Saturday school and hearing little children whose parents are very Nigerian say, oh no, I can't go to Nigeria because in Nigeria it's all poor children that are starving. I said, but hold on, your mom goes to Nigeria every single year, 2 times a year. How is it that you have this ideology of where you come from when this is your family? And it goes back to that disconnect. There is that disconnect. I have children who can't speak their home language. I have children that don't speak their home food. If you give them McDonald's, they're in their element. You give them jollof rice, that's their home food. So if we cannot even impact our own culture into our children, our own mother tongue, exactly
the fault of some of the mothers as well.
It's really bad.
For them, it's a big up when your children can't speak your dialect. You know, and if you check some of the Asian communities, the first thing they do is instill the culture and language in their kids. But for us, it's a big up because they
kids can't speak the language.
No, it's a big up. They can't eat our food. They can't speak our language.
Even in Nigeria, Lagos, some don't speak the language.
It's really bad, and I think it goes back to what you were saying about the fundamentals. So pronounce my name, say my name.
Thank you.
Let me have the ownership, because your name is not something that was picked from the sky.
No,
there was so
meaning,
much
yes.
pomp and ceremony that went into giving you that name. Someone sat and really reflected, what is the name? How do I manifest that in my child? And then you have someone to cut your name short.
Yeah, and just
call you out,
pronounce Olu for me.
Thank you.
But that's how you call yourself. When you get to work, you introduce yourself and say, Olayomi.
So I would say like my name's Shade, or even my parents call me Shade.
Yeah.
I've never called Shade.
Yeah, but at least you're called Shade properly, not Shady or Shade or.
But you know what? That is the start of the disconnect. If we cannot even connect on the fundamentals of who we are as a people, so you as a mother to your child, if you cannot connect on that fundament, how do you want when your child turns 16, 17, and they want to start doing their own thing?
How can they now? Yeah.
They have nothing that connects you together, and I think once you start separating a child from their true identity, it's very difficult.
The name is tricky because
it's not tricky.
No. Like with my name, if it's the full name for Shade, but even in Nigeria, it's Shade. They don't call you Shade for Shade
because it's long, maybe.
Because it's Shade.
But at least it's called Shade. I think it's called
This is not remake.
I think so.
But it's
No. Even in America, there was this clip that we saw of a lady that was saying that, you know, that's her name, and she went back to her mom and said, they're not pronouncing my name properly. And her mom said, go back there, that is your name. You don't, if they can pronounce the Irish names and the Russian names, they will learn. And she's been able to come out and say, you know what,
that's my
people have accepted me, that's my name. So
that ownership.
Yeah.
We give them that. They would never
Okay.
allow us
Any
to do that, but
questions?
we do them.
Any questions for Carmel? I know we contributed, but does anybody have any particular question? Yes, Judith, what were you going to ask her?
No, I was just going to add that I love that about culture, because you know, when we grow up, my household, my mum would be like, remember, you are African, you are not to go to school. And you know, she'd pack my lunch with like African food.
Oh,
and then she would say, and I'd be like, Mom, can I have a sandwich? My mum would be like, what's your name? What's your full name? Do you know where you come from? Get off.
Go off and eat that.
So now I can cook my, like, I can cook Kenyan food, and I'm like, when I have my friends over, I cook my Kenyan food, and everyone's like, well, you can cook that, you can speak that, and I'm like, do you look, I am African.
Sometimes it's a plus when you do these things, like, oh, so you can speak your language. Even sometimes
but I think for me, you know, for me, I'm proud. When people say, oh, yeah, I'm like, yes.
It's that
I speak my national language, and I speak my mother's mother.
I take my children to Nigeria, they're like, oh, they can eat eba.
Oh, no, I love it. For me, it shouldn't be the norm.
It shouldn't be the
And I actually even say to them, I actually speak 4 languages. Four languages.
Any other question? We're going to round up now. Any other question for her? Or do you have any, any general questions now? We can ask any general questions now. It might not be related to this. If it's something you've always wanted to ask or know, there are wonderful women in the house now, so I'm sure somebody will be able to answer any question that you have. You have a general question. If there's something that you've always wanted to ask, if there's something you're not too sure about, even if you're not sure if you should ask, just
Can
ask.
I say something?
Okay,
see
let's
the brains ticking, but
Fatima.
no one's putting their
I know. Fatima, yes. What have you got to say? Fatima is a student of international relations at University of London Met. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
I wanted to say, you asked a question earlier about how you can, like, why in this event today there isn't youth.
Okay.
And I myself, when I came in, I thought it would be like some people my age I'd find, but then I was like,
just Ayo.
But then I realized, you know, the environment. Sometimes the young people don't understand they can learn something, and it's not always your age category where you'll find your reasoning or find your development and you'll learn something from. So I think when the people are ready, they will turn up.
They will look for the teachers.
Yeah, because they say when you're ready to learn, the teachers will
When the students is ready.
Whenever they're ready, and they have to know. If they know, like what Judith said about listening and reflecting on themselves and thinking, what can I do better? How can I change myself? And that's when they will look for you, everybody else, and they'll say, you know what, I can learn from these people. Let me come. So I think they need to start first reflecting on themselves and see where they want to improve, and then come and then reflect and learn.
As a young person, as a young adult, let me put you on the spot. Is there more that people of our generation can do so that we can bring you guys out? We can let you know that we're there for you. Because sometimes the help is right in front of you. You don't even know it. Sometimes as a mother you are there, but the children are the ones pushing you and saying, look, you, like somebody said, you won't understand because they believe that you don't get what they're talking. So is there something more that we should be doing? Although we know that yes, we can wait for you guys to come. But is there a way that we can move that forward and meet you guys halfway?
I think if there's a lot of things that go into getting help and understanding children and parents and that disconnect going away. But then because there's like with me it's culture and religion.
Exactly. Those are the two huge factors, yeah.
So if I come to my mom and bless her, she loves us and tries so hard. But then she just, there's a certain line where she stops. You know? After that, it's like, no, now you need to stop what you're talking about, you know? Now you're trying to think like the white people are teaching you. That's not what you talk about. You know? And
then she brings in culture and religion and family orientation.
And you forget about the actual problem. So, because to tell the truth, who are we going to, where are we and who do we see? Our media and our teachers, and who are these people? We're learning from other people who are not Somali or Muslim or Asian or Black Africans. We're not learning from them. We're learning from British people who are white. So we often pick up some stuff from them, and then that's where we start to think, why are we different? Why are we this and that? You know? And then when you go to your parent and you try to get some, like, you know,
reassurance.
Clarity and reassurance from them, you don't get it because they're like, you need to read the holy book, you know? And I'm like,
Nigerians as well. There was one girl that said she was talking about
I think we're just talking about youth this
she was talking about how she's not okay with herself. So she went to her mum, she was like, Mum, can I talk to you? She's like, oh, don't worry, everything will be fine, I'll pray for you. She's like, no, this is regarding my mental health. She's like, a lot of my days, don't worry, I'll pray for you. In fact, you see, I'm trying to talk to my mum, and she's not listening. So it's all about communication. Take your time out and listen to your child and see what she has to say. Maybe you can pray for her, really pray for her in your own time. And don't just say, no, don't worry, I'll pray, you don't have mental health.
But can I just add to that? It's one thing to say that, but there are a lot of parents that can't get past that this is the answer, is to pray for. So I think as mothers as well, we need to do that work on ourselves. We need to be educating ourselves in.
Can I be real here? Let's be real a little bit. Sorry to cut you short. I'm going to bring you in, Reverend Lade, because I remember something you said when we were talking about mental health when you had that event. And I think that as second generation migrants coming here, sometimes as parents, as a mother, you have enough on your plate. You're trying to juggle how you're going to settle down, how you're going to feed, and especially if it's a one-parent family and you've got so much. So when a child now comes in and it seems as if what they're talking about is, this is what you're talking about, it's no big deal, you know, somebody said something, you be like, just get real, you know, woman up, get up. So how do we know when, as parents, to really take this thing seriously? Like a mother could just say, no, you're just talking that out, I'll just pray for you and you'll go. At what stage do we start to realize that we're in a different culture from where we were raised, and we need to, there's some of these things that we don't think they're important, they're actually very important to these children.
From the minute you start to have children.
When you start having them in your womb,
you have to realize that certain things have to change.
I think
okay, you've got a man.
yeah, I'm just gonna chip in a little bit. This is just from my own experience. I think the biggest experience a lot of us are going through is the immigration, and that is that
difference in culture, isn't it? When you
the immigration aspect of things has affected a whole lot of us, and it could take over, like mine took over 20 years. So you could see, to now balance that, and I was still raising children along the line as well. So it's a very, tough one. I could understand where she was saying in terms of the prayer, which is something that we all believe, we all fall back on. So, and I think, that's something that a lot of the community leaders needs to really work on. Yeah.
I want to quickly add that we cannot give what we don't have. So when a mother is mentally unstable, has mega issues she's dealing with herself, she's going to bring up kids who don't have self-love, who would look outside to affirm themselves. The boys will go out and join gangs. The girls will go out and join gangs. Believe you me, there are lots of girls in gangs now. Girls of color, especially. You need to go to Brent, you need to come to Hackney, Haringey, Newham. There are girls now in gangs. And they're more vicious and more ferocious than the boys. So when we have issues that we're not sorting out, it's going to be very, very difficult for us to bring balanced children. And that is why one of the things, I'm sorry I came in late, but one of the things I wanted to talk to us about is about the fact that we need to declutter our mind. When we're not balanced, I think it's flowing in well now, so that we can just tie it up quickly. When we're not balanced, when we have issues with our mind, there's no way we can build a productive business. There's no way we're able to maintain a good relationship in a family. There's no way I'm able to keep a good relationship with my sister, with my brother. There's no way I'll be productive at work. I'll see everybody I've been after and I'll become very paranoid. And that is why we need to deal with us. And that's why what you said earlier, Judith, is very right. Self-audit, which a lot of us, because of the very busy nature of our lives, we're running from A to B to C to D.
Unfortunately for us Africans, one of the hallmarks of our signs of prosperity is how big the house you built back home is. Even here, you want to drive the latest range of car. You want to drive a 17 plate, a 16 plate, and it's 18 out yet. We don't know. It's not yet out. We'll have to wait till next month. But then we want to live in houses where we cannot afford. So you rush into mortgages that you know that the whole of your salary is going to wipe out. And then you sit down, you look at your kids. You can't provide for them. You have to do 2, 3, 4 jobs for you to live and make ends meet. Women, let's sit down and talk to ourselves. This is the beginning of the year. One of the things that I say to people is that you need to learn to declutter. Take the essential things, take the non-essential, take them out. Watch who you surround yourself with. You stole my thunder when somebody talked about who is your influencer. It was Judith. Who influences you? Who are you influencing? And who is in your sphere of influence? So if you surround yourself with wrong people, you find yourself pushing the same way. So my best friend wants to go to a party every weekend. I want to go to a party where she's going to spend about £250 every Sunday or every Saturday. You have to do makeup of £30, yeah? You have to do the gele for £10. Then you have to do the ashrebi for another £200. You have to sew for another £80. How much is your salary? At the end of the month, you sit down and you look at yourself. Where am I? This year, let us refocus. Take the things that you do not need to be there. You don't need to try to prove to anybody who you are. Be unapologetically you. That's who God has made you. Don't step on anybody else's toes. But we need to take care of us. Self-love. But however, when I talk about self-love, it's not about you being selfish. Because we need to look out for one another at the same time. But taking care of you. Who are you? Have you ever sat down to ask you who you are? So you people will define you as the wife of, the mother of, the sister of, but who are you? Lade, who are you? So one of these days, sit down and write down who you are. Don't think about it, write it down. Don't type it down, write it down. That's one of the arts that we have lost. The art of talking to one another. I actually wrote on Facebook yesterday, actually it was on Instagram, that we've lost it. Technology has lost a lot of us. So I see you on Facebook and I say, oh, my sister, yeah, I know you're fine, I know you're well. But that's a picture I took 2 years ago. That I decided to post on Facebook today. You didn't know that I cried overnight. So you think, get in touch with one another. Let's break down the barriers that we allow social network to put around us, break them down. Let's be real with one another. And let's go back to how it used to be. And I think as well, you're very right. That years ago, we had less incidents of mental health issues like we have now. And unfortunately, I will say that social media has not helped us. Do you know that the deputy chair of Facebook does not have any social media handle? Do you know that? He does not have any social media handle. I actually posted on Facebook an article where he was interviewed, and he said he refuses to because he knows that it encroaches into your personal life, into relationships, into everything. So this year, make sure you take a step back for those of us who are very active on Facebook, those who want to blow the trumpet of how our children are doing, not knowing that you are impacting somebody else's child. Step back from social media. Take away the non-essential. Start to think of yourself. Write down, bullet point, a page. Who am I? Define who you are. Not based on your environment, not based on what you do, not based on your career. Who are you? Take time out to feed your mind. When God created us, He created us as a tripartite human being. So we have a spirit, we're all spirit. We have bodies, which is what we carry around, and we have our mind. Your mind is the seat of your intellect, your emotions, what you see, what you taste, what you feel, what you hear. A lot of us, if I ask you, how is your body? You probably going to tell me, yes, I'm okay. If you're feverish, you say, well, actually, my temperature is a bit high. I think I have fever. If, you're not feeling very well, you say, okay, well, I can feel my mind. A lot of us who have faith, you feed your spirit. You go to church, you go to mosque, you read the Bible, you do things to, you go to pray, you do all of that. And then the third being that God created, I've described the body, I've described the spirit. There's the mind. If I ask you all today, how is your mind? I bet you about 2/3 of us are probably not able to understand the state of our mind, where we are. And that's the truth. And that's because we don't understand who we are.
That's right.
We need to sit down to understand who we are. When was the last time you fed your mind? Not your spirit and not your body. When was the last time you sat down to meditate, to think? When was the last time you traveled all alone? You don't have to go together in a park. When was it, not for, I won't ask you when was the last time you went to Kenya or to Nigeria. Because when you go back to those countries, that is not holiday. It's not holiday. But when was the last time you come back home? But when was the last time you cared for you? When was the last time you had a me time? And I'd just like to encourage you, this year, have me time. At least 10 minutes every day. You're not asking for too much. Have a me time. So you wake up in the morning, you refuse to get up out of your bed. I have 15 minutes me time every day. I take time out. I shut everything out. Shut everything out. Let your mind wander. Be free. You don't have to think. Just leave your mind to be free. Listen to music, dance. Do something you love to do. And this year, can I ask you, do something different that you've never done before? I remember some years ago, at 43, I went to learn how to ride a bike. My kids laughed at me. I said, oh, Mom, before that, I don't mind. I learned to ride a bike. Do something new. Take care of it. Travel to somewhere you've never been before. You don't have to have money. Do you know that there are people in this London who have never been to Trafalgar Square? Oh, yeah. That's the truth.
Where's the time? When they're working for that job.
Do something different for yourself. And I'd just like to leave on this note, that there's no health without mental health. So if you take care of this skin, you wear the best clothes, you use the best cream, you do all the best thing and look perfect outside, and you put the perfect makeup on. If your mind is not well, you are not well. Yes. That's the truth. So this year, can we all say together, I will take care of me. I will take care of me. I will take care of me. I am unapologetically Lade. I am unapologetically Lade. I do not apologize for who I am. I will love me. I will love me. This year, I will love me. I will love me. Thank you very much.
Reverend Lade 30 minutes, what more would she say? Another round of applause. That is the mental health advocate. And that is one of the purposes of this kind of event, is for us to know, as we step out into this new year, how we can declutter. What are our priorities? What do we need to take on board? What do we not need? Do you really need that extra income just to feed, other people, or to just take that time out? And when you start to declutter, everything that we're saying begins to make sense. You have more time for your children. You'll be able to attend to things at home. You'll be able to sit down and say, what is the next step in my career? You'll be able to do things for yourself. Self-development. Taking time out as well, distressing your own body. Do I need a holiday? Do I need a break? Something, it's very strange. Most of the people that I know from this background, our background, they don't know how to take holidays. Yep. When you say you're going on a holiday, they look at you. I remember when my kids were younger and I would take them to botanics. Everybody I knew then used to tell me, you have time. You have money. Because it's as if, why don't I spend that money to buy another pair of shoes or another set of gold? But then I think at this stage in life, we need to really sit down and work out what our priorities are. On that note, ladies, please let's take a 10 minutes break and we'll come back and talk social media. Please, a round of applause for our panelists.
Well, we're still live all the way. We're still live. What a very beautiful Saturday it is. We will be looking at the social media extract after the 10 minutes break. And
you want the 7200?
You're just joining us. We are live at the Stepping Up, the Leader in Your Conference and Workshop Program organized by Ladyyemi AKINOLA. I'm sure a lot of you will have seen her on Facebook. Once again, it's Olayomi Koiki bringing it live to you all the way from Tottenham.
You know the place? I see you work on Facebook as well.
Well, once again, after just 10 minutes, we will be looking at the social media. The expert will be speaking to us. Everyone is on one social media or the other, whether you're on Twitter. What was your first tweet this morning? What have you posted on Facebook? And also, what have you been posting on Snapchat? Or what have you been streaming on Instagram? Everyone just wants to have one or two things happening on the social media. As you can see, the selfie. Well, how does this have impact on our daily life within our network? Once again, thank you all the way from Lagos for those of you that have joined us, and those that have just joined us as well from Canada and also from the United States of America. We're still live till 4 p.m. all the way from North London.
Oh, I'm sorry, you squeeze it. Let me move the chair out of the way. Hi, how are you? This is, I think that's what I swear to you. No, I'm not. I'm not tempted. No, I like what he's doing. It's alive. It's alive, and I want to listen. That's why. I'll talk to you about it later. Okay. Come take us out. And for me, it's all about sister selfie. I think as a leader, in your organizations, it just makes sure that work for you, understand what your goals are. Can we all have a group and it's very... We're not going on. Don't get distracted. No, we are not going now. We're not going now. We're not down there. For me as a leader, in any organisation, you have to have transparency. People need to understand what your policies are, what your strategies are, what your goals are. The more people understand what your vision is, the better it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm taking this picture? I'll do it.
Didn't know me, and then I
Are we all smiling? Are we all ready? Yes. Say cheese. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be naughty. Yes. Everybody say cheese. That's going to be loud. Okay, let's see. Come here. Okay, it's taking us now. Okay, let me join. Rika, come this way. Yeah. Now see some faces. Can you see everyone? From the yeah, probably. You ready? Okay. Nice. Wait. Oh, bang. Judith, can we see you? Yes. Natalie? Okay, oh gosh. When you're ready, let me go down. When you're ready, I'll go down. Say ladies. Ladies. Awesome work. Ready. Cheese. Wait. Social media, is it good? Yomi, are we still on?
Yeah, we're good.
Let's do one with Yomi. Let's say hello, everybody. Hi. 1, 2, 3, go. Hello. Voice of Hope Women Foundation. Voice of Hope. A voice for the voiceless.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll do the final ones after, yeah? Maybe? Yeah.
How many more do we need to do? Just
Got 2 more questions.
I think I need
Well, as we should be waiting. Happy New Year.
I'm fine. We are progressing now. By His grace.
Yeah, it's only about 4. Self-love. You love self-love. You love self-love. Self-love. She has done it. Thank you. Okay.
If you've just joined us and wondering what is happening, it is the setting happening all the way in North London once again, as we are waiting for the social media experts. A lot of selfies, pictures. Once again, my name is Olayomi Koiki, bringing it live to you as it's happening. Stepping out, the leader in youth conference and workshop programs that started just about 10 o'clock, and we're now on the final half an hour of the event. For those of you that have joined us, we would like to say thank you very much. We will be later on joining Pastor Tunde Bakari later on this evening. Also, so much is happening within the community, both right here in United Kingdom and Nigeria. Continue to follow the timeline so that you could be up to date with what is happening. The All Women's Network will be taking place on the 27th of February at Barkington Hall again. As we are waiting for the social media expert, this program is brought to you by Voice of Hope Women Foundation.
Help yourself to refreshments. We're starting in the next 2 minutes. The next speaker, they've got 20 minutes. So.
We're expecting the program to run up to 4 p.m. We're just on the
All right, where? Thank you. If you're still here, please give yourself a round of applause. Okay, if your hands are yours, please. You can't borrow them. And it's not letting them out. They're still here with you. Give yourself a round of applause. Thank you so much for staying with us all day. It's been an inspiring and eye-opening session, even though I have learned so much. And I know that we're going to be taking a lot from this. Moving forward, the next few events that we're going to be having, we're going to special them on areas that I see that keep coming up. For instance, the youth engagement. I think, Fatima, we really need to work with that. And I'm trusting that you're going to support us with this as well as IO. You've opened up a new page that we didn't even realize. You know, when we talk about women encouraging each other, we never really think of how can we bring the other generation up as well, so that after we are gone, they carry on the mantle. And like it's been discovered in this event, I want to believe that probably some of the things that we think that are important to us are not so important to the generation coming behind us, and vice versa. What they tend to think that is serious, we might just try to trivialize. And how we tend to unwind, they don't seem to understand. So we need that connection there, and I'm sure that the young women here today, they're going to do a bit more, and we're going to work more. So in future programs, please don't be surprised when we have youth speakers coming up. Even on some of the things that we're discussing here, I want to see younger ones come up and tell us their own impression. Women in disability, women in business. I want to see younger people come up and tell us what it is for them and how we can move things forward. Is that okay? Yes. Okay, please give yourselves a round of applause. I'm going to call on TOBI AWOYEMI. She's a social media expert, and she's going to take us through how we can use social media to build up our businesses as women. You're welcome. A round of applause for TOBI.
Good afternoon, ladies. I've got a lot of energy, so I like to play around. When I say play around, I'm quite playful. So just bear with me if you just listen to me. I don't go for parties. I don't go for parties.
You don't?
I don't go for parties.
You don't go for parties, or you don't go to parties?
Well, for parties, to parties, you know.
You don't?
No.
That's not true. Because I've seen you at parties.
Never. I'm just thinking on how to say that. My name is TOBI, and I'm very pleased to be here today. I want to say a big thank you to my lovely sister for having me here today. I read her book, Empowerment for Leadership. I haven't shared this with her, but this afternoon, on my way here, my hubby asked me, so what is the event that you're going for? And I said, this lady that, was actually reading her book. Reading her book gave me a feeling that I felt that she was somebody that I would like, to work with. And she then called me one day and asked me to be here, and I remembered how she had shared her own experiences in her book and how that had made me feel. And I thought, yes, I will be here today. So I just want to say thank you for that. And you didn't know that, so I wanted to let you know that. And also well done on sharing your experience.
Thank you.
And building others with that. So I'm grateful for that. I'm going to be talking about social media today, but I want to start from the place of purpose. As Yemiko rightly introduced me, I am a social media expert, but it's one part of me. Just as Reverend Lade was talking about different parts of us, that is one part of me. And I'm going to start talking about social media from a place of purpose. So, she was saying, describe yourself. One of the ways I'm going to describe myself, my name is TOBI AWOYEMI. I equip women to succeed through what? Business strategy and social media training. And so I say that I start from the place of purpose because I like the conversations that we've had about social media before now. There are a lot of things that are good for us if used properly. Social media is a great tool if used correctly, and I'm going to be talking about that today. And the reason why I start from a place of purpose is because if you can use social media to fulfill your purpose while you are here, it can be business, it can be ministry, it can be a charity, whatever it is, it can be lending a voice to the nations. What she's doing today, what Reverend talked several times about, she shared this on Facebook, I put this on Instagram. She wouldn't be able to share a message with that audience without social media. So the key in social media is using it correctly. And I think one of the best ways to use any tool, social media is just a tool. One of the best ways to use any tool for it is to have a purpose behind it. So if you have a purpose for what you're doing, and you do it correctly, I'm not going to mention the other ways, then you use it, yeah? So now I'm going to get into social media. Today I want to share with you 7 secrets to social media success. But I've been told I have 20 minutes and I should look out for the winks and nudges and all of that. So should we all agree that I'm going to ignore her throughout? How many of you agree? Okay, 7 secrets to social media success. So, when you do?
You're going to have to do it yourself, unless she does it for you.
Thank you very much. Why social media? I've got a few reasons here, but the main thing that I've said is, and I just felt to start from that, is the fulfillment of purpose, whatever purpose means to you. Because I've looked at the ladies here and I believe that for those of us that are here, it's much more than business. There are other things that God has placed on our hearts, or that they're gifts, talents, skills that we have, that we need to use to help the world around us. So, create brand awareness, visibility and exposure to build relationships. For example, if people cannot see you or they do not know what you do, I've just thought of a connection of reading, my lovely sister's book. If I hadn't seen the book, well, I don't really know what she does. That is one platform. But basically, it's creating visibility and exposure, building relationships. Much more before I read her book. I think we have been on social media for quite a long time. And I can count how many times we physically sing. Again, it goes back to using social media rights. Marketing costs. How many of you know that you can build a business on social media? I'm not recommending this. I'm not saying that is the only way to do it, because as a business, as a ministry, whatever you do, you should have marketing costs. But you can actually build a business, because I've done that before, on social media without spending any money. How many other people have done that in this room? It's very possible, and I've seen a few hands, at least 6 hands up. So, you can drive sales.
your customers are on social media, and I'll tell you why I'm sure they're on social media. But I'll tell you a little story before I go ahead. How did I start with social media? My husband and I often run away from the children for some weekend breaks. It doesn't have to be anywhere spectacular. This was just Cambridge or somewhere local. And I was going on a Friday. I was running a weight loss business. I posted something on social media on Friday. It's a weight loss package. It's £100. By the time I was coming back on Sunday, I had sold, I think, 2 or 3 boxes. That was the beginning of social media for me because I'm like, I went on the weekend, posted something, enjoyed myself, came back, and I've made £300. It wasn't millions, but that was the beginning of social media for me. I tweaked that and honed my skills in that area. It worked for me, and then I started getting asked to teach others. And I just thought I'll share that story with you. If I can do it, so can you. So why am I sure that your customers, your ideal clients, your target audience on social media? Because of these numbers that you can see. It used to be said that if Facebook were a country, it would be the 3rd largest after China and India. As it is now, if Facebook were a country, it would be the largest country in the world because we've got 2.2 billion people on it. YouTube has got 1.5 billion. Instagram, my favorite, 800 million. Twitter, 330. Pinterest, 175. LinkedIn, 530 million. How many people are sure that somewhere out of those billions of people, your target audience for your business, for your ministry, for the charity, whatever it is that God has placed in your heart, that your audience are somewhere there? Let's assume that it's only 0.001%, and I'm being, emphasizing that now. It's still a lot of people. Yeah? Okay. So, I'm going to share with you 7 secrets today. Actually, I plan to share 7 secrets, but if I don't get to the end, I will leave it there. The first thing is your core message. I'm often just saying, sometimes I'm naughty about this. I need to make sure I have my notes so that I don't say, oh, I didn't tell them this. So just bear with me a moment. So the first thing that you start with is your core message. Know what your core message is. What's your core message? Your core message should speak to your target audience, to your ideal clients, so that when they hear it, they know that you're speaking to them. I like to make things simple. 3 things that your core message should have. Who do you help? What do you help them with? And how do you do it? Who do you help? What do you help them with? And how do you do it? So, I run an organization called Excel Women. I help women achieve success by equipping them with inspirational teachings of God's Word, business skills, and social media training. Did you get a picture of who, what I do, and how I do it? I encourage you to please write that down for whatever it is that you do. Who do you help? What do you help them with, and how do you do it? It does 2 things. It helps you. It clarifies what you do. There's no comparison. There's no jumping on every shiny object because you know what you're doing. And also, your target audience recognizes you when they read it. How many people have read something and think, yes, that's what I'm looking for? Or say, because that happens to me this week. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. Because I can clearly see it. So that's the first thing, your core message. And there's no, before I go on, there's no use writing down your core message and keeping it in your bedroom under your pillow. Go out and take action. Put it where the audience can see it. That's the reason why. Okay? What I'm sharing with you today is not based on one social media platform, but across social media platforms. And these are basically secrets that will help you achieve social media success. I speak to a lot of entrepreneurs, and I've heard a lot of people say, I posted, I did this, I did that, and I didn't get any results. And that's why they're secrets. Check out these 7 things. What is missing? You might have some clear, you might not have some. Look at what you might be missing out. So, the next thing is your content. Your content. Quite a few years ago, when I really became a recognized expert in my field, and I say that without humility because when I work with people, when they go, oh, your social media, when I say, you are a guru in your area. I'm a guru in my area. I agree. People don't like women, but I'm an expert in my area. That's why I get paid. You are an expert in your area. So I used to get that question. So for example, Reverend Lade is an expert in mental health. I had some thoughts as she was talking. I thought, keep quiet. So to the person that is an expert is talking, you know. So I used to get asked the question, I still do, Toby, how did you become a recognized expert in your field? And people expect me to say something wonderful. It's not like it's not wonderful, but it's very, very simple. It was content. And when I say what I mean value, I continue to share value about that one thing. And that's why I said your core message. So, every time I will share value. When I say value, social media tips, solutions. You know, what do your audience want? What do they need? I can share, okay, so for example, if I start to share stuff on weight loss, for example, which I have done in the past, then I'm positioning myself as a weight loss expert. If I'm sharing weight loss tips and I start to tell people that, oh, I know how to help you have smoother skin. Like, really? When did you add that one? You understand what I mean? But when I'm sharing about weight loss, and this is true life, when I shared about weight loss, people started asking me, offline and online, people would, you know, how do I do this? How do I do that? Oh, does this work? Does that work? And I'll talk about natural procedures, not procedures, natural supplements. And people asked me specifically about that. Oh, wow, we've only gone 2. Right, okay, I'm going to leave that. So that's content. Concentrate. Now I'm going to really go for concentrate. A lot of us often try to learn and build across social media platforms at the same time. You don't get to do any. You spread yourself too thin. Concentrate on learning and building one social media platform. When you're done with that, pick up the next one. But make sure it's the one where your target audience are found. There's no use being on Snapchat if you are talking to 40-something and 50-something year olds. Yeah? Do we get that? Okay. I'm going to connect. So I always say social media is a two-way street. A lot of people, especially introverts, they go on social media, post, and walk away. It won't work. You need to engage. Like other people's comments. Like other people's posts. Comment on it. Reach out to other people. There are 3 sets of people that you must engage with. People who already follow you. That's it. People who are your target audience and you want them to follow you. And people that you can collaborate with. So those 3 sets of people you must. I'm really going fast now. A call to action. We all have busy lives. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I run a ministry, I run a women's ministry. When I'm picking my daughter, I'm making phone calls to my mom. When I'm doing, so basically, if you haven't told me what you want me to do with that picture, I look at it and I go. So put a call to action. Do you want me to come for this event? Okay. Then I ask me to register for the event. Do you want me to like it? Do you want me to tag it? Do you want me to tell my friends? Do you want me to forward it? Tell me what you want me to do with that information. Okay? Consistency. Don't post today and run away. If you come to a building, it looks empty, there's nothing happening, you think the person is going to be there. Same thing with social media. So look at it and you haven't posted in 5 days, or 4 days, or 3 days, I recommend posting at least once daily. You don't have to spend your life there, but post once daily. And one way to ensure consistency is planning beforehand. Yeah. Okay, there's a lot I could say, but I'm really, conversations. I want to make sure I give you a bit of conversations. So, social media, understand that social media is somewhere where you go people shopping. And if what we call a sales funnel, it's right at the top of the sales funnel, where there's a lot coming in. I don't know, the Africans in the room, if you remember the palm oil funnel, yeah? So at the top of it, there's a lot coming in, and then it goes down like that. So it's at the top, there's a lot of, it's a funnel. But that gets, so a lot of people see your post, it gets narrower because some people are interested and they like it, comment, they engage with you. And then some people just like, you notice some people just like your post, but they never come for your products and services. So it narrows down to people who actually will now come. So basically, that's the funnel. But you need, and that's why you must have conversations. 2 ways to have conversations. I'm not going to go into that yet, but you can build what we call an email list, where you now have your own database outside of social media. And I really recommend this. You don't own Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg does, but you own your own database. The second thing is reach out to people on one-to-one. Let's bring back real life. There's something on, I don't know if you've seen that on social media, people write IRL, in real life. let's bring back real life to social media. With those 7 secrets, you'll be able to succeed with social media, because they've helped me too, and I believe that they can help you too as well.
Yeah, thank you, Terry.
Okay, can I just mention something? Yeah, sorry, can I have? Yes, please, thank you so much. I'd like to invite you for this event. I'm not sending you anything. I'd like to invite you for this event. It's on the 24th of May, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'm a May girl, it's my birthday. I always just coming to the glory of God every year. This year I'm having Terry Savelle Foy. Anybody heard of her? Or Jerry Savelle, who's her father. So I'm having Terry, and she's what she calls herself the cheerleader of dreams. She helps you to build your dreams, live your purpose. There's a reason why you're here. From personal experiences, from a personal experience, the place of your purpose is a place where you find fulfillment, where you're celebrated, where you flourish, where you prosper most. So it's important that you discover your purpose, and then that you live that purpose. You can get it on excelwoman.tv/conference. It's £20 only. It's in central London. It's 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on a Thursday. And the first person to register here right now will have a copy of my book. I'm going to bring that out in a moment, a free copy of my book. And also giving away the ebook version for free in general. But the first registration that I get here gets a free book. I really should show you that for visual purposes. And if you go to the next slide, please. Yeah, and that's just ways that you can connect with me after today. Please do connect. I would love to hear what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how the 7 secrets have helped you to succeed. And here is a free book that I would like to give to somebody today. Thank you very much for listening. I've never spoken so fast.
We're going to do this quickly. I would have said if there's any Q&A session. But let's invite Mrs. Grace Shomori, business coach, and then afterwards we see if we have time for questions and answers. A round of applause, please. A powerful woman in business. She has been in business for years. When you see Grace Shomori, you see money. Amen. When I see her, I see the pound sign, I see the dollar sign, I see the naira sign. Oh wow! And many
that is fantastic.
I see naira. Wait. So a round of applause, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
inviting me. I'm really pleased to be here. That one. I'm really happy to be here. I've not been to any of these things in a long time. I've been to a lot of business presentations and conferences, but nothing in this mellow, lovely, homely environment. So thank you so much, everyone, for having me. My name is Mrs. Grace Shomori. Like so many people here, I wear a lot of hats. I'm a mom, grandma, all of it. I'm into a lot of businesses. I started off with insurance, still do a bit of insurance in the background. I have a company called Graceful Holidays and Tours. I do a lot of buying and selling from Nigeria. I have a few businesses in Nigeria as well. So that is me. Thank you very much. So that's about me. The next one, please. Because of our time, I've only got very limited time. So how starting your own business? The lady that's Toby is just taking everything out of my mouth. I'm sorry. Because I've got a slide on social media. Thank you so much for
Excuse me, to interrupt, can I ask a quick question? I'm sure a lot of people are thinking it. With you, Toby, and a few other speakers, are you guys going to send me some of the things that you've done so that I can forward it to the women, because they might not have enough time to write down and capture everything? Yeah. So can we all agree? Yeah. Yeah. So if you don't get anything, it's because Toby has not sent, it's because Grace has not sent, it's because Grace has not sent. Sheyi Folok, AYOMIDE, they've not sent me anything. Yes. That is why you've not gotten Reverend Lade yet. So if they send them to me, which they have all said here they would, then be sure to know that if I have your email, I would forward these things to you. So you can take time, in your own time, and go through some of them and see where it's applicable for you. And of course, you have their contacts there as well. So if you needed more information, you can get. Is that okay?
Yes. Yes.
All right, then. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ladyyemi. So what am I about? I love to be happy every day. I love to be productive every day. I love what Judith said earlier, self-reflection. Every day when I'm on my bed, I reflect. What have I achieved today? For my body, like Reverend Lade said, for my spirit, for my soul. What exactly am I really happy today? What has challenged my happiness today? That is honestly, that is a good starting point for every woman. Every day, make it your me time. Make it at night, make it in the morning, whatever time is suitable for you. So I love to be happy every day. I love to be productive every day. I have passion in empowering other people. Ladyyemi is drawing me now to women. I love passion in empowering other people. What is your use in life if you have not really impacted anyone? Of what use is that? That is my passion. And even if it's just one person that I've impacted in a month, believe me sincerely, it's an achievement for me. So starting your own business, how do you start your own business? Is there a need? Is there a need in that thing that you want to do? Does your passion meet the need? Your starting point is your passion. What are you passionate about? What is it? It's a job. A job is not your passion. A job only probably pays your bills. Yeah. If that. Some people of color juggling from one job to the other and the other and the other. Because the responsibility in the home front is now on our necks, unfortunately. But what is your passion? What is it that makes you happy? What is it that you want to wake up in the morning for? What is it that when you are really tired and somebody comes up with that topic and your energy just surges? That is your passion. Now that passion, how can you turn it into money? How can you turn it into money? Thank you. You know, why business? Before we go into how you can turn it into money, why business? Business creates flexibility. You hear Lady Lade? I go to Nigeria only 4 times a year, 5 times. I travel. It gives you flexibility. It's a development stage. And I believe for some people, this is just a starting point. Today is just a starting point. For some, they've taken a break, and this day will jog their memory again, and they will start and pick up their businesses. And business does not really, money is good for money to be at the back of your mind, but don't let that be your starting point. To make a profit, you will be frustrated about business. Believe me. And that business could be just empowering people. It could be just setting up a charity. just starting. I love what my sister does. I've never heard it. I've never thought shoes, and I've got shoes at home that I can no longer wear because of old age. You know, and you have things like that. It's your passion. You have your source of income, but there is a passion. Putting shoes on other people's feet across the world. If that is your passion, pick it up. It gives you flexibility. It supports your ministry. It creates wealth. And wealth does not only mean money. Wealth in your mind. Wealth of exposure. Wealth of impacting other people. Wealth of living a legacy. It creates a better community. And like my sister said to us earlier, there is so much funding out there. If you are doing anything that will impact just 10 people in your area, there is a funding for you. Believe me. And it's there in the social media. Make Google your friend. There are financial support and schemes, like I said. No job is for life. And extra income. Your job, by the time you are dozing at 9 o'clock on your desk, they will say, excuse me, I think you should resign now, or you should retire now. They will even be reminding you through your email. But with your business of any kind, it's for life. It's your passion. You can do it for life. Thank you. What is stopping you? We have said a lot about this today. Mindset. Mindset. Mindset, like Judith said earlier, what you've been told from mom, from when you were 5, from when you were 3, you cannot make it. You cannot amount to anything. All that kind of is still holding some people even in their 60s. It's still holding some people even in their 40s. Come on. Come on. You know, that's fine now. Lock it up and throw the key away. Now be yourself. And the good thing about life is, for as long as you have life, you can pick it up anytime. There is no time that is too late or too early. Ayo can start. What's your sister?
Natalie.
Natalie can start. And how old are you, Natalie? How old are you? 12. She's 12. She can start. Do you know that the scooter that children ride in the streets of London now, a boy started it when he went on holiday with his dad to Hong Kong. He saw it, and I think he was 9 at the time. He picked the idea and he loved it. And that's how that boy now, the time I read it was 11. and he was already making millions. He bought property, the first house for his parents at 11. Can you imagine? So, some people will be finance is their stop. I don't have capital. You just heard. She posted something on the social media. Did you pay money for it?
No.
Over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and she has £200. So it's not all businesses that require money. Lack of knowledge and skills. If you need knowledge, and we're in the era, in the age of knowledge that it's everywhere except your eyes are shut and you cannot see them. Knowledge is everywhere. All you need to do if you don't know is ask. Some people is family genetics. All the family, they've all been engineered, like Toby was, Ayo was telling us. Around her were nurses and midwives, and she just felt to be natural not to rock the boat. Let me just join. Something was not right in her. It's not me. I don't like the sight of blood. I don't even like hospitals. And thankfully, she listened to her instinct. So don't let we're in the era where woman, nothing should hold you. Nothing, absolutely nothing should hold you back now. The world is, so how do you grow your business? Thank you, ma'am. Carry on. Identify your passion, like we said earlier. And there are so many. I'm going to tell you a story that will not more than 5 minutes. And I will build all the rest of my presentation on that story. I'm sure many of you will know this woman. I've not met her yet. I'm hoping to meet her in July. She's Mrs. Ayodeji, the Moi Moi lady. Ayodeji Mogbope. Now this woman, her life inspired me so much. And that's why I'm telling her story here. I've not met her, like I said, and I did not take her permission to tell this story, but it's all over the social media. So I'm not plagiarizing or stealing her story, no. But her story inspired me, and I think it will inspire somebody here today. What did this woman do? She was from a family of, I don't know, probably four girls and a boy. Academic. Her father was an engineer, her mom was housewife. And there was an uncle, or probably uncles, that came to their house to babysit her when she was probably before 10. And they were sexually abusing her. Mom would not listen to it. Mom would not even dare. She would not even open her mouth because these uncles threatened her. But if you tell anybody, you dare not tell. You are going to be, it's a taboo. And she carried on. These uncles would even invite her to their flats to clean for them. And they were sexually abusing her. And that affected her so badly that she was the only one that did not go to university in her family. All her brothers, all her sisters were flying academically. She didn't. She eventually finished her school start like we did in Nigeria, did not do well. And dad and mom said, we know you can't do well. The way you carry on. And that was just killing her more and more. And I'm saying this because it has bearings on all the things we have touched today. And this was just killing her, this girl, more and more and more. Anyway, when daddy said, okay, you scored probably 3 C's and 1 P in your school start, which means you can really do well. Now I'll give you a second chance. Dad paid for another school start examination. She went through it. This time came back with all 9s, F. Dad said, now, I'm washing my hands off you. But mom was just cussing her, beating, all sorts of things she went through. And this woman now, she said she just went up, she did not think of suicide, thankfully. She went out one day, they lived in Mushi, and she saw a group of people on a story building, a man and a few women, girls. And she stood, and the man said, beckoned on her. She climbed the stairs and went up. The man said, so what are you, do you want to enroll? And she said, what are you doing? She said they were teaching shorthand and typing. Oh, yes, I will enroll. And she got home, told dad, that's it, if that was what you want to do, well, maybe that's what you are fit for anyway. She enrolled. And she did very well. Imagine, she said she was the one-eyed person amongst blind people. Because she's actually a very intelligent woman. But because of the things she's been through,
circumstances around her.
Eventually, she did so well, and she did secretariat job for 20 years. Just like your story and my story. She did secretariat job for 20 years. She was the last place was in a nursery school in Koiki, primary, Montessori's nursery primary school. And then she said something was just nudging her. Something was just pushing her. this is not the place you should be. Ayo, this is what it is. But she doesn't know what to do. After 20 years, she now has a fantastic husband. Beautiful, beautiful husband. Knew her story, thank you, man. Told them their story. All of that happened. And she has 2 children. She resigned from her secretariat in the school and was telling people she's going to she was going to open her own nursery and primary school and blah blah blah, and everyone was saying, hey, ayo, hey, bird in hand is better than 10 in the bush. You better take it easy. Your children are still young. How would you? Anyway, she resigned and she got home. What am I going to do? You see where many of us miss it? We do not even put a plan in place before making a move. Put a plan in place. The world is gone past by chance. Nothing happens by chance no more. It's hard work. Nothing happens by chance anymore. And Ayo, what did she do? She sat down at home, nursing herself. Their husband was going to work one day and said, "Oh, darling, there's nothing for the kids to eat when they come back from school." He probably took out the 1,000 naira. 1,000 naira is probably £2. Took out the 1,000 naira he's got and gave it to Ayo. I trust you that you will make something fantastic with this. She said she got the money and cried and cried. What am I going to buy with this money? She went to the market and bought beans. Dried beans. I'm sorry for those who do not know what beans are. But it's black eye beans. She bought the beans and came back home and made moi moi. Now the moi moi, as you can imagine, moi moi is a kind of pudding. It's a lot. A little bit of dried beans will give a lot of product. And it was so much. And the smell, the aroma was all over the flat. Her sister-in-law came, the husband's sister came and said, something smells nice in this house. I must say this to Ladyyemi. And the woman said, 2 more minutes. And the woman said, can I taste it? Can I just taste it?
When you give her the microphone, you know she doesn't have microphones. They don't finish quickly.
Can you change my slide?
Finally, as I conclude, they are taking for
I'm sorry. And you see, because every aspect of this story, honestly, I truly believe it's impacting somebody here. Now, as the sister-in-law tasted this moment, you made this. Oh, what? There's no big deal about it. I'm having some visitors tomorrow. Can you make some for me? No problem, sister. I don't have a job. I'm jobless. So how much does it take? At that point in time, her business cap was still not on. It's 1,000 naira. She collected 1,000 naira, made for sister. Sister apparently has a bigger wide of influential people. They tasted it and said, and order started coming in. And Ayo was getting order, but it's not enough. It wasn't enough. Then she said she needs to take this to a high level. This is where business is becoming interesting for those who are really listening. She needs to take it to a higher level. So what do I do, Lord? She's a Christian, her husband is a pastor. What do I do with this thing, Lord? And this Holy Spirit told her, I'm sorry, Pastor Yemi. Yemi told me not to mention God here, I'm sorry. And the Holy Spirit told her that, go back to the gate of that school and hawk your moi moi. A place where she was probably the registrar. She grew to the registrar level before she resigned. And God is telling her to go to the gate and hawk moi moi to the parents. She did. He said, what is it going to cost her anyway? Her background of being put down, she now flipped it. Confidence just came. And she did. She said she put her moi moi in her cooler and went there. Bye moi moi. And your life will never remain the same. It's this moi moi. And that's how this woman. She said she was doing it. Some days she will come back with a full cooler no one will buy. Some other days, so this is business. There are times when it will sink. But if it is your passion, you got the tenacity, you are not going to give up. This woman did not give up. She said this particular day, this posh woman was in her car. She was driven by a driver. The AC was, you can smell the AC from a mile away in her car. And this woman was saying, hey, shall I go and approach this woman? How am I going to approach her? In business, you need confidence. She said, how am I going to approach this woman? And then she went, hello, madam. She knocked on the door. Moi, it's this moi, your life will never remain the same. And the woman said, is that what you do? She said, yes. Oh, well, let's see. But you know what? That's amazing. Because my company, we are looking for a caterer. She employs probably nearly over 500 staff. And they're looking for a caterer that will cater for them every afternoon for their lunch. And the woman said, oh yes, I can do. If you can do mama this tasty, surely you can do jollof rice. Surely you can do akara. Surely you can do edikaiko. And that's how this woman started. In her kitchen, in her sitting room. She then media information. She was flicking through the newspaper, and what did she see? An advert, from American company were looking for 1,000 women across the world to help. Women who were marginalized, women who are already into business, but were not getting help. And she told them to just apply. And this woman met Michelle Obama. And this woman now turnover of millions of pounds. And what's her company called? No Leftovers. All of this in under 10 years. 8 years precisely. Do you see what I mean? So all my slide is summarized in that story. Whatever it is, though there's no time you cannot start. There is no level that is too great or too small. But start something for yourself and for prosperity.
So much. We do apologize that we couldn't take all of your slides, but I think with the story, we've gotten the gist that your business takes tenacity, business takes, can we keep one house please? Business takes dedication and commitment. And of course, with business as well, you have to be focused. You have to have a passion as your underlying base. Now, ladies, we're supposed to be rounding up, but I crave your indulgence. If you can give another 30 minutes, then we'll have time for questions and answers. I say this because I know a lot of you still have some questions that you want answered. And of course, I'm going to be sending you information about all the speakers and what they've said and how you can contact them. But if we're able to take another 30 minutes, we'll, yeah? Social media. Oh, if they wanted to ask questions about social media. Okay, if you're willing for that 30 minutes, Reverend Lade, are you still on or you?
If anybody asks any questions,
okay, let's just give it 30 minutes then, and then all of us can know that we're finished. So, if you've got any other question you want to ask, we've talked about. Remind me again, just so I know that you're here. We've talked about mental health. Yes, we've talked about disability, women in disability. Social media. Thank you. Social media. Business. Women in business. Yeah. What again? Youth speakers. Yeah. Nothing career. Mompreneurs. Okay. Yes. What else have we spoken about? Declutter your mind. Women in mental health. Yes. What else do you think that we need to talk about here? We're going to talk about women in leadership, and that is where I come up. Okay, you've got a question?
For the next time, talking about the financial topics, for example, how to become independent, and women how we can help, for example, people around us who want to become independent financially. So, I mean, women who need some advice.
Okay, women who want to become financially independent. Okay, I think that was part of what she was talking about with women in business, how to start up business. Okay, not they don't have to start business. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. More specifically on getting finance.
Money. Okay, how to manage their finances. Okay. All right. That is women with money matters. Okay. Is that social media? Oh, no. Yes, we'll talk about that. But I wanted to round up with how we as women can take leadership in whatever area and sphere of life that we are in, and that is where women in leadership come up. Can I grab a copy of my book, please? Toby was saying earlier that she had read my book. Reverend Lade, please indulge us a few more minutes, just in case someone has a question for you. I can't take any questions on mental health. I don't know, so don't go. I'm sure I even have a question for you, so just indulge us 30 minutes. We've been here, and we're rounding up soon. But I want to tell you a little bit about this book, Empowering Women for Leadership. Very soon I'm going to have a sequel. I'm going to do a follow-up. But what led to this book was the fact that we started a radio show, like I said earlier on. And from the radio show, we started the Foundation for Women. And from there was so much spillover. I see that as women, we need to take authority of where we are. We've just had wonderful women speak, and everybody has spoken in their area of specialization. I can't talk about mental health because I don't know anything about it. I can't talk about business, even though I am an entrepreneur, but I'm not a specialist in that area. I hardly know anything about social media. I have to see TOBI one-on-one, you know? And there are other areas as well that you might not be so good. But I want to assure you that there is an area that you are good at. You just have to find it. If you told me a couple of years ago that I would write a book, I would tell you, what am I going to say? What do I have to say that is of interest to anyone? A couple of years ago, I wasn't even in the media. All I did was my business. A lot of you know me then. I was just, you know, in the buying and selling business. But as things progress, as events happen, you find yourself in certain areas. You think it's by accident. You don't know that it has been preordained. I actually went on television to advertise my shop, to advertise my lace and whatever business. That was what took me to television. And then from there, I was like, okay, what's this guy saying? I'm sure I can do this. And somebody said, okay, give it a go. You think it's that easy? And from there, I can now say that, yes, I am into media. That was a couple of years ago. Then getting onto media, I did not just, you know, stay at that point and say, okay, now I'm a newscaster. That's fine. I've got everything that I needed. After a while, I discovered that when I go to buy stuff, you know, whether it be Dubai or Turkey or wherever, I'm always interested in the culture. What are we eating? Why do we have to eat shish kebab here? Why in Dubai are we eating something different? Why are you guys dressed like this? You know. And a lot of times when I go with a lot of my friends, I have some of them here with me here. They will tell you I will be doing other things and taking pictures, and they will say, "Oh, she came for tourism." You know, when they're haggling and they're trying to get the best prices, I'll be there like, "Okay, oh, I like what you're wearing. No, what's this you're eating?" And so when they say, "Oh, come, we're gonna, you know, ship things," and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, I'm coming." They're like, "She came for tourism." So when I got a platform on television, I thought, you know, this passion for tourism, let me explore. And that's where People and Places started. For those that don't know, they're thinking, "Oh, a woman in tourism, what's she on about?" You know. And then you do not stop. As I said, an opportunity also came for radio. And before that, I was already presenting. And I thought, you know what? I want to do something different, because the presentation was mostly on politics and it was hardcore. You know, bash this government, bash that. Oh. And I thought, oh goodness, really? So when the opportunity for radio came, I thought, okay, I've got another passion. I've got something else I can add to society. And I thought, let's talk women. But like I said earlier, for those that came early, I was surprised that women were still not talking. There was this subtle conspiracy of silence that I did not know was there until I came on air. People would come, and instead of them to share their story so that we can find, you know, a reasonable outlet or solution, they were, in fact, some of them were more of the problem, because they were saying, no, don't talk about this. You know, now you're starting to talk on religion. Now you're starting to talk on culture. Now you're starting to talk on, you know, this has got to do with our culture. This is how we do it here. It's okay for men to abuse women. It's just part of, you know, that's part of life. Don't make a big deal out of it. And I thought, okay, is this right? You know, and from there we started on other, you know, when we started with the light topics like women in business, I had people come and say, yes, this is what I do, you know, go out there. It was good. Women in leadership, Councillor Kate was there. We spoke, yes, come and join politics. But when we started talking on sensitive issues, let's talk domestic violence, how many people would put up their hands? Let's talk about abortions. Why? How many people have done abortions? Let's talk about teenage pregnancies. Then you don't want to talk. Even if you've had a child when you were a teenager, you don't want to discuss it, because as far as you're concerned, it's something that's a bit of a shame, you know. Meanwhile, if you're able to share your experience, maybe you stop somebody else from making the same mistake. So I want to encourage you today that wherever you find yourself, you are a leader. Leadership does not, you don't have to wear a crown. You don't have to carry yourself in a, say, yes, I'm the king, I'm the prince. Whatever situation you find yourself in, capture that situation and be the leader. Be the very best that you can be at whatever it is that you do. All of you powerful women here, you're in different spheres of life. And you cannot be a leader at everything. But when you find your passion and you find your niche, when I knew that I could talk, oh, nobody could stop me. Just like Mrs. Somorin, you know when you have a speaker, you round up differently. You give me 10 more minutes, I say, you're rounding up. Then I continue. Just to conclude. I went for a women's conference, and the pastor had to say, I said, yes, as I round up. And I took, because I had a lot to say. So that's how speakers know, because you have a niche. If we left her, she would have gone, because that was only number 2 out of how many points? You know? Was it number 1? Oh, sugar. I know. So even Toby was better. Toby, you know? But that's her niche. And she has found that in doing that, she can add business, although she's a woman of faith. That's why I cautioned her, no, praise God, just talk. Okay. Because she's a woman of faith, she would have gone into the faith section. But when you do find your niche, ladies, please hold on to it. Mental health, I cannot fault Reverend Lade. She knows what she's talking about. And even though she is a lawyer, you can see that that is not what she's not telling everybody, oh, the legal, this. She's coming in from the point of passion. The point of where she can help, because anybody can get a solicitor on the high street. But how many people can you open up to and tell what is going on in your mind? So please, you have networked with each other. Please, if there's anybody that needs any form of help, Rosaline has mentioned that if you have a charity or you're registered, whatever, there's help out there. There's help available. A lot of us, we're just out there, we didn't even know that, you know, help was available until people like her come up and say, you don't have to do this by yourself. Try and, you know, apply for so and see if they can help. You might not get all the funding, you might not even get at the first attempt, but at least you know that you're on the right path. So many other women in businesses, so many other women in different spheres of life. Let us come together and work collectively. It is only coming together that we're able to move forward. Just like my friend mentioned, she has a son, and somebody was able to say, you know what, I can help you with this. If she had kept quiet, nobody would have known. So let's break that conspiracy of silence. Wherever you think that you need help, wherever you think that you can help, also, you know, come forward and support. Yinka does, you know, souls for souls. Nobody would have thought, when I attended her event, nobody would have thought that just shoes, putting on shoes, would have so much effect on a school child. And if they tell you some people are going to school without shoes, you probably will like, which area do they live in? What's that? But it is a reality. It is a reality. So please, for future events, I've got the feedback, I've got the evaluation, we're going to look at it, we're going to see what we can do. And I can assure you that this is not going to be the end. We're still going to come together, you know, and we're still going to talk more. And I think also you would agree with me that I think now we need to place more searchlight and spotlight on our youth. We need to involve them a bit more. We've just gotten the tip of the iceberg of from one or two of them have been spoken their minds. You can know that there's a lot more under the surface. And like Councillor Fumi said before she left, we have to engage them and know what their lifestyle is so that we're able to understand them. Like Reverend Lade also said, we need to be able to declutter so that we don't take on too much from the, you know, from outside. We want to do this, we want to do that, we want to attend every event, we want to look good. Let it not just be all about us and our work. Even though I do not say it lightly that a lot of women are challenged. It's not because they want to, they just have to make ends meet, to make to do 2 or 3 jobs. But having said that, if you have a family, you do have a responsibility towards them as well, especially your children. So you have to take that time out. But the only way you can do that is to, first of all, find who you are. Because what you don't have, you can't give. And you don't want to be passing on your stress to your children. They ask you, Uncle, yeah? Huh? Mama, So please, our mental health as well. We need to check and balance things. And you know, we discovered that a lot of women, age group 50 to 55, they just fall down, they slump and die because they've taken on too much. So search within yourselves. I'm not saying go and sell your house. If you know you can afford the mortgage, don't downsize. But sometimes we have to get back to basics. I've done that before. I've done a downsize, complete downsize. I was like, you know what, I can't come and die. It was just that simple. I cannot come and die. I will only do what I can do. So whatever it is that you need to do. Nobody, we have not seen this before. That one was long time ago. Now everything and anything can happen. So don't, it's happening to me. It's no big deal. You know, somebody has gone through it. And the more we're talking about it, the more we can find solutions. So that somebody coming behind us might not even need to go through it. But if we keep quiet with our experiences, that's the problem. So if anybody has any questions, that is my humble submission. I'm a leadership coach. That is what I do. I coach one-on-one. If you need more in terms of searching out what your goals are, I don't know what they are, but if you tell me, we can work towards attaining those goals. I'm also a lifestyle coach, so that means anything in your life that you think you need to reorganize, I'm there for you. And also would encourage you, if you have not already, please purchase a copy of my book. It's only £10.
it will empower you. Rika, please come forward and she will tell you, she has read the book. You want one? Oh, you've read the book. Okay, Rika, come forward and share something about how did the book encourage you. Just come forward.
Oh, okay.
Please.
I come with mine.
Okay, come with okay. She's got a copy of the book and so she wants to go with it. Come with your book. Okay. Take 30 pounds from me.
I have big
So if anybody wants to go, please put up your hand. Okay. Natalie, please.
Very, very useful.
So I don't just want to blow my trumpet. I don't want to say because I'm the author or the authoress. But from some other people that have read the book, I want a quick review so that you know what I'm talking about and what it means to own your leadership. Okay, Rika, just 2 minutes. Okay. Is her own copy signed?
Yeah.
She bought on Amazon.
It's important. I think it's very important to have one book, like Ladyyemi's book, in our flat, in our shelves, because it's something that you can just take and just read one chapter. It's very easy to read, very easy. With the style, she is very, especially in some parts, you can really find that she was focused on
if you want me to sign it,
topics that you can, just in some moments of your life, you can find some very inspiring sentences, ideas, and how you can manage your life, and also how you can help others in your neighborhood, in your family. Once I only gave it to my friend, and because she was talking about topics, and she said we were talking about it together, and I said, here is a book. Just have a look at the chapter, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and come back after that and tell me how did you feel after reading this chapter. Is it something that you managed to find an inspiration about your issue that you were talking about? And she was very happy with it because it was, I think everybody can find a chapter or just some messages that you can feel that it's very, very useful. And I think
well done.
Well done, really well done. And I think it's not the last day that I have in my hand.
Thank you very much. So that's one review that I got. Toby mentioned something earlier. I'm sure a lot of other people that have read it as well would like to say or would say that the book has encouraged them in one way or the other. Michelle, please, if you want a copy, let me know.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, Judith, you want to?
If people want to react to my camera, just your name, what you do, and what you've been here today. Very lovely.
Okay. Do you want us to do that now, or
yes, please?
I thought we were asking questions.
Yes, this is a question seminar. Yeah. Okay. Mental health. Before we release you, Reverend Lade, please come forward. I'm going to make the. I've seen you today. I'm going to make the most of it.
I am well, I know everybody's busy. I know that everybody's busy. This woman is a very dear woman to me. Because ordinarily, I should not be here.
Oh, please don't say that. Don't say that one. You killed my friend.
No, but it shows how important you are. I think this has raised you up high.
Thank you.
And this is fantastic. But just in case, she's got my details. One of the things that we women don't like to do, as much as we talk, we don't talk. You know? We don't talk the deep things. And sometimes it is quite understandable because one of the things I found out in our community is that we're very people who we talk to.
Exactly.
Because people have used our information against us. People who you felt are quite close to you. They pick information and they've used against you. One of the things we don't understand as well is that there are actually services out here in the community that people can tap into. Almost every local authority has a talking therapy. So if you go to your doctor and you feel very, very pressured, please ask them specifically, instead of them giving you medication when you're down, you can actually ask for talking therapy, where you can sit down and talk to someone who can help you structure your thoughts. Because we all go through situations in life. It could be a challenge with your child, it could be at work, it could be relationship, it could be family dynamics that has gone a little bit lopsided. But one thing I will say is that please let us talk. not talk. Not talk about or against each other, but let us do proper talking. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I'm around for the next 4 minutes.
Okay, thank you. A question? Let me quickly, while you're here. What are the, okay. How do you know when you talk about mental health, because that was the thing that the foundation was talking about this year. When you talk about mental health, the first thing that people think of is that you're going to and then balance that. No, let me quickly ask. Okay. So what, excuse me, sorry. Thank you. So one of the things that we think, or the first thing that you think about when we talk about mental health, the first thing, let me just say the first thing, is that that person has gone caca. And you know, nobody wants to identify, even when you think you have an issue with your mental health, like Judith said, she went to therapy. How many people will come out and say they go to therapy? Because the stigma in the society is that once you start seeking mental health, you have problems and people start to move back from you. What are the first signs that your mental health needs to be taken care of? When you're physically ill, you feel tired, you know that. What's the first sign? Okay, thank you.
When your thoughts is racing, when you're having sleepless nights, when you have, one of the things I say to people, sorry, it's a bit distracting by the side. Okay. Sometimes, I actually said it somewhere, and somebody was like, is that possible? Sometimes when you have backache, unresolved backache, when you know that it's not due to sleeping or bad sitting position, sometimes when you have constipation, that you know you've done everything right and it's not really working. Sometimes when you know that you can't hold your thoughts. I've been there, where your thoughts go so fast, extremely fast, and you can't hold yourself back. It's one of the things that causes insomnia. Sometimes when it's worry that you cannot hold, you can't control the worry. So people tell you don't worry, and you're worrying because somebody told you not to worry. Jude, I don't know if you've all been there before. But one thing you do need to realize is that it's good for us to be self-aware. I say to people, we're taught how to do, for those of us who are women here, you do monthly breast self-examination to check against the signs of cancer. Men are taught how to look at their prostate, to look at their scrotum and check for signs of prostate cancer. But how many of us are taught signs to look out for when there's a mental imbalance? These are things we need to look out for. I'm very active on Facebook, and I have a purpose on my activity on Facebook. So I'm not there to tell you what I've eaten today, or my latest clothes, or this or that. I'm there to raise awareness about mental health issues, things to look out for. For example, when winter, it was actually last year, December, I started this topic on seasonal affective disorder. And somebody actually wrote, oh my God. So that explains the reason why I'm always moody during winter. They never realize all their life. This is a 52-year-old man. Seasonal affective disorder or depression, it just affects people. It's about you knowing what signs are, what the signs are, and what you can do to cope. Most of these self-care therapies are out there. There are things you can do without even having to go to the doctor. But the first thing is recognizing what those things are.
Thank you. I think that's it. Okay, Fatima, yeah.
I wanted to ask,
and then we'll round up, please.
How are we going to be able to contact you today? Because
Okay, I'm on Facebook. I have an organization called the NOUS organization. There are 2 pages of the NOUS. There's an open one where we just paste things and there's very little interaction. But there's a closed group where we discuss, and we discuss quite some personal things sometimes. So if you're on Facebook, check for the NOUS, N-O-U-S. If you add me, Lade, Hephzibah, Olugbemi on Facebook, I would add you onto the closed group. And if you have any questions, Ladyyemi has my details. Please contact her. It's confidential. It's free of charge. It's pro bono. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Just before you go, guys, you want a group photo? Just before you go, I just wanted to say thank you for coming. We really appreciate all your comments.
Let's stand up for group photo, please. Let's move forward before we go.
All your contributions.
Please, group photo, please. Let's move forward for those of us. Where did you move forward to? Please put down your jackets. No, I don't want jackets inside my photo, please. Oh my God. I don't want them to know it's winter, so please move forward. Take jackets off.
Well, as we're now coming to the final part of this beautiful program that has been running since 10 o'clock in the morning. Just coming up to 25 minutes past the hours of 1600. Again, as usual, my name is Olayomi Koiki, bringing it to you live all the way from North London. We would like to also, to all the viewers that have been watching this live coverage from just about 1 o'clock this afternoon, a very big thank you. And also to Ladyyemi AKINOLA, the founder and the CEO of Voice of Hope Women Foundation. Once again, thank you for being part of it. This is now the group photo, and we will then get the closing remarks from Ladyyemi later on. But as we are taking and streaming also the live group photo.
Please, I would encourage you, please look at that camera.
Hello. Once again, as usual, my name is Olayomi Koiki. If you like us to be part of your event, you want us to promote it either as the live coverage, do reach out to us.
Okay,
so,
ladies, after this session, we look at the social media guy and we say we are Voice of Hope. Yeah? Yes. Okay. Let's move on to social media. 1, 2, 3, go.
We are Voice of Hope.
A voice for the voiceless.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Well, what more can we say than a big thank you, Vicky Robert. Yes, always good to get a selfie. Let's make sure, let me switch my cameras and I will get one. And that's
Hello everyone, this is Lade.
Thank you very much for joining us.
I will do the selfie as well.
And that's it, all the way.
This way.
Thank you very much.
Well,
and that's, you know, again, thank you very much for joining us today. It's always good to see all the women.
I will say this to your followers, Yomi, you guys need to continue supporting this guy. This guy is an amazing, amazing guy.
And I affirm to that as well.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
We need to continue to be connected to what's going on back in Nigeria in any way, shape or form that you can. So keep following, keep sharing, keep supporting. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you very much. Well, it's always good to see all the powerful women within the community. Thank you very much for joining Mrs. Yemi Ebulu of Saffron CEO. You should be joining you in Nigeria very soon. I'm sure you're probably in Nigeria, if I'm right, or you're just about to make your way. All the way from London is our own beautiful and hardworking, making sure Hackney is one of the most important part of the country with the ethnic minorities. She carries a lot of heart by the name of Councillor Susan Jumoke Fajino for just joining us at this live broadcast as it's happening. This is the final bit, but we would like to say thank you to those of you that have joined us. Anna for All Women's Network and Abiola Olayinka all the way from Nigeria as well. Once again, Vicky Robert, thank you very much for joining. Larry Ekundayo, our own boxer. We're looking forward to the next match coming up very soon. Thank you as well for joining. And for those of you, Abose De Tiamio is watching us all the way from Nigeria. And we also have Adekoya Adini, you're watching us as well. Ekena Robertson, we would like to say thank you for joining us as well. And again, Prince Adida Kwararomi, I know the Just a Little Help had their surgery today. We will be joining you as well at the next one coming up very soon as well. Once again, thank you. And we will read also, as it's been a long day, this is from Voice of Hope Women Foundation. This is to say a big thank you for your time and effort in making this event a huge success. We could not have done it without your support. In the future, we aim to create more awareness about the needs of women in various areas within the society. For more information on what we do or how you could be a volunteer to support Voice of Hope Women Foundation, you could join them on www.vohwomenfoundation.org. You can also donate through our crowdfunding page. You can also join them on Facebook, Voice of Hope for Women Foundation. They are also on Twitter, or you could send an email to them. Once again, as we are bringing this edition of this beautiful, it's been a long day, I would say, but once again, we're heading towards Pastor Tunde Bakari. It's going to be another heated one. Nigeria 2019 is very close. It's very important that we bring as much as what is happening back home. But the closing remark will be from the daughter. I want the daughter to give us the closing remark for this event. So she will give us the closing remarks and we can bring the live coverage to an end as well. So if you just let her give us the closing remark. And once again, or mom can help her. Again, once again, we've just come to the end of the Stepping Out the Leader in You conference and workshop. I will let Ladyyemi to give us the closing remark, and we can bring the live coverage of today's. But we should be also joining Pastor Tunde Bakari later on this evening, I think 6 o'clock if I'm right, but we'll be heading there from here. Let her give us.
Where's Toke for crying out loud? Okay, do you want us to do it at the same time?
Yes, because it's basically the same.
Do I need my shoes on or is it okay? Because it's not sure.
You're okay. So just a brief summary of this event.
Okay. Hello. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, Facebook viewers, for tuning in today and watching what we do at the Voice of Hope for Women Foundation. My name is Ladyyemi PeopleandPlaces. I'm the visionary, the CEO and founder of Voice of Hope Women Foundation, an initiative that started from a radio show. I keep on saying that. It started from a radio show where I talk to women about women issues, and I noticed that there's a conspiracy of silence when it comes to women talking about their issues, even though it was not on television. I have listened to so many women callers talk about issues that affect them, and I believe that it's imperative that we have a one-stop portal, a one-stop shop where women can come to in confidence and discuss whatever issues they have. I might not be able to help, but I can signpost you to organizations that deal with a particular issues that are at hand. I'm so grateful for the time today. I'm so grateful to every woman, every lady, and every man as well that turned up today to help to make this program a success. Stepping Out 2018, it's called The Leader in You, The Leader in You. I want to encourage every woman out there that there is a leader in you, whatever niche, whatever area you find yourself, good at, whatever you find that is your passion, that is your area of leadership. What you need to do is to build on that. What you need to do is to expand on that. What you need to do is to make yourself more approachable when it comes to that niche. Thank you so much, and God bless you all. I cannot thank you enough. And please do support us. We have our website, voiceofhopewomenfoundation.org. You can email me, vohfoundation@hotmail.com. So that is vohfoundation@hotmail.com. If you have any queries, concerns, suggestions, whatever it is. And of course, we would like to have feedbacks from this event to know what we are doing right, what we're not getting so right, and what, of course, we can add in the future. Thank you so much for being a part of today's program, and God bless you.
Thank you very much.